All right. Good evening. Just getting things ready to go. We will jump in. Going to be playing Mass Effect for the very first time tonight. Very excited to start playing through. Plan is to play through the entire trilogy, not back to back to back. We'll play through the first one, then play something else, and then eventually come back to the second one, so on. Uh, so that is the plan. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know a whole lot about Mass Effect. I have a lot of friends who played it, a lot of friends who loved it. I just never touched it. But I have like 3 copies of the Legendary Edition through various launchers that gave the game uh, at various times. So we're just going to wait for the capture to pick it up. When I did a test of this previously, it took a little while for some reason. So we'll just kind of linger here for a moment while I wait. There it goes, actually. A lot quicker that time. So yeah, so we will jump into things. And hopefully I don't have any issues with the camera as we go. It's just a weird thing I've had in a few
Welcome
instances.
to Alliance Military Database. Classified information requested. Establishing secure connection.
Alright.
Secure connection confirmed.
So I did just go to this point when I was doing some test recordings just to get audio levels right. So basically, from this screen, the names John Shepard and Jane Shepard, and then the ship the Normandy. That's where my knowledge stops for this game. I know of those names, and that is essentially it. So I don't know what to expect. I do think I'm gonna go with Jane. I was like going back and forth thinking which one do I want to do, and figured I'm just going to play through it as Jane Shepard, just for fun. Why not?
Please log in to access your profile. Profile reconstruction complete.
We're going to leave it all as just the pre-designed stuff.
Identification confirmed.
I'm going to leave level scaling as legendary, as opposed to the classic, just because that's just easier. Combat, I'm going to leave on normal. I'll leave auto leveling off. Determine which skills and talent squad members will use in combat. Defensive. We'll go with that. Subtitles on, autosave on, and yes, I'm going to need tutorials. So let's jump in. I know nothing. So this is going to be really, really interesting to me.
Well, what about
playing
Shepard?
through all of these.
Earthborn, but no record of her family.
Doesn't have one. She was raised on the streets, learned to look out for herself.
She saw her whole unit die on a cruise. She could have some serious emotional scars.
Every soldier has scars. Shepard's a survivor.
Is that the kind of person we want protecting the galaxy?
That's the only kind of person who can protect the galaxy.
Okay.
I'll make the call.
Okay. In the year 2148, explorers on Mars discovered the remains of an ancient spacefaring civilization. In the decades that followed, these mysterious artifacts revealed startling new technologies, enabling travel to the furthest stars. The basis for this incredible technology was a force that controlled the very fabric of space and time. They called it the greatest discovery in human history. The civilizations of the galaxy called it Mass Effect. TM. Okay.
The Arcturus Prime relay is in range. Initiating transmission sequence.
Commander?
Okay.
We We are connected. Calculating transit mass and destination. The relay is hot. Acquiring approach vector. All stations secure for transit.
Alright, some sort of alien chilling there.
Board is green. Approach run has begun.
Whatever that space station is cool. Is that like warp thing for jumping to different places?
3, 2, 1.
Oh, it's like slingshot. Okay.
Thrusters, check. Navigation, check. Internal emissions sync engaged.
So that to me seems
All
like
systems online.
just I've been reading the
Drift. Just under
stories
1500
on Magic the Gathering's website for the
1500 is
newest set
good.
coming out.
Your captain will be pleased.
I forget what they called that technology, but it seems very
hate
similar
that
to
guy.
that.
Nihilus gave you a compliment. So you hate him.
You remember to zip up your jumpsuit on the way out of the bathroom? That's good. I just jumped us halfway across the galaxy and hit a target the size of a pinhead. So that's incredible. Besides, Spectres are trouble. I don't like having them on board. Call me paranoid.
You're paranoid. The Council helped fund this project. They have a right to send someone to keep an eye on their investment.
Yeah, that is the official story. But only an idiot believes the official story.
Okay. Only an idiot believes the official story. I'm gonna go with my current opinions.
They don't send Spectres on shakedown runs.
So there's more going on here than the captain's letting on.
Joker, status report.
Just cleared the mass relay, Captain. Stealth systems engaged. Everything looks solid.
Good. Find a comm buoy and link us into the network. I want mission reports relayed back to Alliance Brass before we reach Eden Prime.
Aye, aye, Captain. Better brace yourself, sir. I think Nihilus is headed your way.
He's
As soon as I know what the
already
HUD looks like in the game,
Tell
once we're
Commander
actually
Shepard
playing,
to
I'll
meet me in
move
the
the
comm
camera
room
if
for a
it's
debriefing.
obstructing something.
You get that, Commander?
But I heard.
I'm on my way.
Is it me or does the Captain always sound a little pissed off?
Only when he's talking to you, Joker.
Okay. Escape and open the journal to view your updated mission objectives. Ooh, I like this. Nice and tight. So let's just get our first save in. So journal. Prologue on the Normandy. You are Lieutenant Commander Shepard, Executive Officer of the SSV Normandy. Speak to the Captain. Go to speak to Captain Anderson and the Commodore. Can I speak to anyone else here? Looks like I could. Okay. Maybe let's look at what the controls are before I start doing things. Okay, so that's move. Crouch, control, use or sprint, safe bar or space bar. Okay, how do I? Okay, map M, journal J, combat, shoot, aim, change. How do I holster? Okay, H. Okay, vehicle, stream. Okay. I think space.
You probably don't want to keep
Okay,
the Captain waiting,
so it's-
Commander.
Got it. Space is the action. Telling you, I just saw him. He marched by like he was on a mission. Spectre, they're always on a mission.
Relax, Presley. You're gonna give yourself an ulcer.
Okay, I'm guessing that's the captain. No, that's the navigator.
Congratulations, Commander. Looks like we had a smooth run. You heading down to see the captain?
Yeah, he
I'm on
wants
my
to
way
see
to give
me.
him a status update right now.
With all due respect, ma'am, maybe he'll finally tell you what we're really doing out here.
What do you mean?
You think the Alliance brass is holding out on us?
If all we're supposed to do is test out the stealth system, why is Captain Anderson in charge? And then there's Nihilus. Spectres are elite operatives, top covert agents. Why send a Spectre, a Turian Spectre, on a shakedown run? It doesn't add up.
Investigate.
You don't trust Nihilus.
I don't like Turians in general. It runs in my family. My grandfather fought in the First Contact War. Lost a lot of friends when the Turians hit us.
Investigate. Oh, wait.
You don't trust Nihilus.
Okay,
I
so I
don't
got
like Turians in
there's
general. It runs in
additional
my family.
options here.
My grandfather fought in the First Contact War. Lost a lot of friends when the Turians hit us.
Plus he's a
Nihilus
Spectre.
is no ordinary Turian.
You've got that right, Commander. We're an Alliance vessel, human military, but Nihilus doesn't answer to the captain like the rest of us. Spectres operate outside the normal chain of command. And they don't come along just to observe shakedown runs.
So again, some world building
Nihilus
here.
looks like he's expecting some heavy action. I don't
Let's see,
like it.
investigate. Captain.
Do you have a problem with the captain?
No, man. But I can't figure out what he's doing here. Captain Anderson is one of the most decorated Special Forces officers in the service. If he melted down all his medals, he could make a life-size statue of himself. You don't send a soldier like that on a do-nothing mission. He's treating this shakedown run too seriously. Something big is
Stealth systems.
What do you know about the stealth systems?
I just know it masks our location from scans and sensors. Cutting-edge technology. The Normandy's the only ship with this prototype drive. But why are we fully staffed? A skeleton crew would be cheaper, less chance of security leaks too. Plus there's Nihilus. It's pretty obvious this shakedown run is just a cover.
For what?
Damned if I know, Commander. We're out here on false pretenses.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of being left in the dark.
Everything to this point
See
definitely
if I can get some answers
seems
when I see him.
like something
Good
else
luck,
is going
Commander.
on.
I grew up on Eden Prime, Doc. It's not the kind of place Spectres visit. There's something Nihilus isn't telling us about this mission.
That's crazy. The captain's...
Okay. Corporal Jenkins.
What do you think, Commander? We won't be staying on Eden Prime too long, will we? I'm itching for some real action.
I sincerely hope you're kidding, Corporal. Your real action usually ends with me patching up crew members in the infirmary.
Doctor's
Only a
right.
fool goes looking for a fight, Corporal.
Sorry, Commander, but this waiting's killing me. I've never been on a mission like this before, not one with a Spectre on board.
Investigate.
What can you tell me about Nihilus?
Turians are generally well respected by the other species. Their fleet has more patrols protecting Citadel space than any other. They don't always get on well with us, though. Some people find them too rigid. Others still blame them for the First Contact War. As for Nihilus, I haven't said more than 2 words to him. He usually only speaks to the captain.
I heard Nihilus once took down an entire enemy platoon all by himself. Man, I can't believe I'm on a mission with an actual Spectre.
Spectres.
What do you know about the Spectres?
Only what I've heard. Spectre agents work directly for the Citadel Council. They usually work alone or in small groups. Spectres don't have any official power, though. Basically, they're a shadow organization with a mandate to
I'm tired.
preserve and
I was out
protect galactic
all day
security.
visiting with
Protected
family.
at any cost.
Went to a
Don't
zoo,
forget
was
that
walking
part.
around for a while.
Spectres operate above the law.
Got home a little over half an hour ago. Basically got all set up to then start playing this.
You're from
so
Eden Prime, aren't you, Jenkins?
it's been a busy
What's it
day.
like?
It's very peaceful, Commander. They've been real careful with development, so you don't have any city noise or pollution. My parents lived on the outskirts of the colony. At night, I used to climb this big hill and stare across the fields back at the lights from the main settlement. It was gorgeous. But when I got older, I realized it was a little too calm and quiet for me. That's why I joined the Alliance. Even Paradise gets boring after a while.
Why are we going
Any
there?
idea why Eden Prime was chosen as our destination?
Not really sure, Commander. Eden Prime's one of our most stable colonies. Good place to take the Normandy for a shakedown run, I guess. No real danger there. There's gotta be something else going on. We've got a Spectre on board. That's why I'm so wound up. I can't wait for the real mission to start.
You'll do fine.
Just treat this like every other assignment you've had and everything will work out.
Easy for you to say. You proved yourself on a cruise. Everybody knows what you can do. This is my big chance. I need to show the brass what I can do.
There's no
You're young,
rush.
Corporal. You have a long career ahead of you. Don't do something stupid to mess it up.
Don't worry, ma'am. I'm not gonna screw this up.
Okay.
The captain's waiting for me.
Goodbye, Command.
I like the idea that doing those conversations will net you bits of experience. Alright.
Commander Shepard, I was hoping you'd get here first. It will give us a chance to talk.
There's
The
Captain
captain said he'd
Anderson.
meet me here.
He's on his way. I'm interested in this world we're going to, Eden Prime. I've heard it's quite beautiful.
Let's...
I've never been there.
But you know of it. It's become something of a symbol for your people, hasn't it? Proof that humanity can not only establish colonies across the galaxy, but also protect them. But how safe is it, really?
Why are you asking?
Do you know something?
That sound...
Your
I
people
want
are
to say it
still
sounds like a
newcomers,
threat,
Shepard.
but...
The galaxy can be a very dangerous place.
Yeah.
Is the Alliance truly ready for this?
I think it's about time we told the commander what's really going on.
This mission is far more than a simple shakedown run.
What's
Is someone gonna fill me in, Captain?
We're making a covert pickup on Eden Prime. That's why we needed the stealth systems operational.
What are we picking
What's the
up?
payload, Captain?
A research team on Eden Prime unearthed some kind of beacon during an excavation. It was Prothean.
Prothean?
I thought the Protheans vanished 50,000 years ago.
Their legacy still
I
remains.
like that they have
the mass
the
relays
dialogue
and
written in a
Citadel
way
our ship
where
drives.
when
It's
you're
all
picking
based
which
on
dialogue
Prothean
option to
technology.
pick, it's
This is big shit.
very much
The last time
directed
humanity made a
towards the
discovery
player,
this,
like Prothean
it
question
jumped
mark,
out
like, yeah, what
technology
is
forward
that?
200
But
years.
the way
But Eden Prime doesn't have the
Shepard's
facilities to handle
responding is
something
like,
this.
they have that
We need to
knowledge,
bring the
but
beacon
it's
back
all
to the
the
Citadel for
conversations
proper study.
informing you.
Obviously, this goes beyond mere human interests, Commander. This discovery could affect every species in Council space.
Why did we tell
Why
the
didn't we keep
council?
the beacon for ourselves?
You humans don't have the best reputation. Some species see you as selfish, too unpredictable, too independent, even dangerous.
Sharing that beacon will improve relations with the Council. Plus, we need their scientific expertise. They know more about the Protheans than we do.
The beacon's not the only reason I'm here, Shepard.
Nihilus wants to see you in action, Commander. He's here to evaluate you.
Why?
What's going on, Captain?
The Alliance has been pushing for this for a long time. Humanity wants a larger role in shaping interstellar policy. We want more say with the Citadel Council. The Spectres represent the Council's power and authority. If they accept a human into their ranks, it shows how far the Alliance has come.
Not many could have survived what you went through on Akuz. You showed a remarkable will to live, a particularly useful talent. That's why I put your name forward as a candidate for the Spectres.
You put my name
Why
forward?
would a Turian want a human in the Spectres?
Not all Turians resent humanity. Some of us see the potential of your species. We see what you have to offer to the rest of the galaxy, and to the Spectres. We are an elite group. It's rare to find an individual with the skills we seek. I don't care that you're human, Shepard.
Okay.
I only care that you can do the job.
That's fair.
I assume this is good for the Alliance.
Earth needs this, Shepard. We're counting on you.
I need to see your skills for myself, Commander. Eden Prime will be the first of several missions together.
You'll be in charge of the ground team. Secure the
See
beacon
how
and
bad
get
I
it onto the
bombed
ship
this.
ASAP. Nihilus will accompany you to observe the mission.
Let's
What do you know
investigate
about the
all this.
Protheans?
Just what they taught us in school. They were a technologically advanced species that ruled the galaxy 50,000 years ago. Then they vanished. Nobody really knows how or why, though I've heard plenty of theories. But everyone agrees galactic civilization wouldn't exist without them.
Okay.
Their citadel is the very heart of galactic society, and without their mass relays, interstellar travel would be impossible. We all owe the
Okay, so
Protheans
that was
a
probably
gratitude.
that's what that thing was at the beginning.
I'd
Eden
like to know
Prime.
more about Eden Prime before we touch down.
It's a peaceful farming world, but it represents something much bigger. Eden Prime is one of our oldest and most successful colonies. It proved we were ready to face the challenges of settling new worlds.
Oh, I'm gonna be
It forged
yawning
place
through a
for
lot of
humanity
this.
beyond Earth. It symbolizes
But not because the game
humanity's
is not
growth and
interesting.
evolution as a
This
spacefaring
is already
species.
very cool.
After this,
I'm just very tired.
it will be known as the world where humans made a discovery of galactic importance.
Alright, and then the beacon.
Why is this beacon so important?
All advanced galactic civilization is based on Prothean technology. Even yours.
If we hadn't discovered those Prothean ruins buried on Mars, we'd still be stuck on Earth. That was just a small data cache. Who knows what we can learn from this beacon? What if it's a weapons archive? We can't let it fall into the wrong hands.
Wrong hands?
Like who?
The Attican Traverse isn't the most stable sector of Citadel space. There are plenty of raiders and criminal groups active in the region. They might figure a Prothean beacon is worth the risk of attacking an Alliance ship. Plus, Eden Prime is right on the border of the Terminus systems.
The Attican Traverse is under Citadel protection. If the Terminus systems attack, it's an act of war.
Technically, yes. But some of the species in the Terminus might be willing to start a war over this.
The last thing the Council wants is to get dragged into a major conflict with the Terminus systems. We have to keep this low-key.
Okay.
Just give the word, Captain.
We should be getting close to Eden.
Captain, we got a problem.
Uh-oh.
What's wrong, Joker?
Transmission from Eden Prime, sir. You better see this.
An attack.
Bring it up on screen.
I'm just assuming it's going to be an attack off the bat. Oh, yep. Shocking.
Get down!
We are under attack, taking heavy casualties. I repeat, heavy casualties. We can't get evac. They came out of nowhere. We need.
We're gonna see what they are. Oh. Okay.
Everything cuts out after that. No comm traffic at all. Just goes dead. There's nothing.
Reverse and hold at 38.5. Status report.
What is that? Twitch
17 minutes out, Captain. No other Alliance ships in the area.
Take us in, Joker, fast and quiet. This mission just got a lot more complicated.
A small strike team can move quickly, without drawing attention. It's our best chance to secure the beacon.
Grab your gear and meet us in the cargo hold. Tell Alenko and Jenkins to suit up, Commander. You're going in.
Alright, Master Hand.
Engaging stealth systems. Somebody was doing some serious digging here, Captain.
Your team's the muscle in this operation, Commander. Go in heavy and head straight for the dig site.
What about survivors, Captain?
Helping survivors is a secondary objective. The beacon's your top priority.
Approaching drop point 1.
Okay.
Nihilus, you're coming with us?
I move faster on my own.
Nihilus will scout out ahead. He'll feed you status reports throughout the mission. Otherwise, I want radio silence.
Can we trust
I don't like putting my life in the hands of a Turian, sir.
Nihilus is on our side. He wants you in the Spectres, and he wants that beacon.
We've got his back, Captain.
The mission's
Just
yours,
casually say them both.
Good luck!
We are approaching drop point 2.
I don't trust him. You can trust him. And we'll respond. Alright, I trust him. Okay.
Ship perimeter secure, Commander.
Okay, hold the... Change weapons, hold left shift.
This place got hit hard, Commander. Hostiles everywhere. Keep your guard up.
Okay.
Oh God, what happened here?
Jeez. Hold left switch, left shift to switch weapons for your squad. Okay. Interesting. Ooh, I like this already. Jenkins. Okay, so it's overheating. Got it. And Jenkins.
Rip right through his shields. We're at a chance.
He deserves
We'll
a
see
burial.
that he receives a proper service once the mission is complete. But I need you to stay focused.
Aye, aye, man.
Alright.
Smells like smoke and death.
Really like this weapon so far. Badgel is needed to heal injured squad members. Omnigel can be used to bypass decryption, and electronic challenges both can be acquired by defeating enemies and opening containers. Alright. Press V to use Metagel.
Got some burned out buildings here, Shepard.
To gain levels, use the squad
Lot of
screen to improve
bodies.
your escape to access the squad screen. Okay. Squad screen lets you view your team's talents. Mouse over a talent or its rank to view it. Click on the talent to spend a talent point to gain a rank in it. As you gain levels, you will acquire talent points and unlock higher ranks. Okay, so I've got 3 points right now. Okay, so to go up in sniper rifles, I need to get assault rifles up. I gotta get combat armor up for first aid. Let's boost soldier. Okay, does that actually... Okay, so that did apply for him. Okay, so for him, let's get decryption and first aid.
I'm gonna check it out. I'll try.
Eden Prime will never be the same again.
Okay. Use left shift to issue orders to your squad, or use Z, attack your target, Q or E have squad move to a point, C, regroup and follow. Just go around this way. Oh, medical kit. Cool. Okay, got a Metagel. So let's go up here and get a better view. Okay, doesn't automatically climb rocks, that's fine. Oh. Okay, so Jenkins dies, so this person can join us. Oh! 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 Okay. He's not in good shape there. Get down there and help.
Thanks for your help, Commander. I didn't think I was gonna make it. Gunnery Chief Ashley Williams of the 212.
Okay.
You the one in charge here, ma'am?
What happened here?
Give me a status report, Williams.
Oh,
We were
man.
patrolling the perimeter when the attack hit. We tried to get off a distress call, but they cut off our communications. I've been fighting for my life ever since.
Fighting these things?
Any idea what kind of enemy we're facing?
I think they're Geth.
The Geth haven't been seen outside the Veil in nearly 200 years. Why are they here now?
Probably for the beacon that you guys are trying to secretly
They must
collect.
have come for the beacon. The dig site is close, just over that rise. It might still be there.
Join
We
us.
could use your help, Williams.
Aye, aye, ma'am. It's time for payback.
Let's do some investigating.
What else do you
We've
know
got
about
time to
the
chat,
Geth?
though. Nothing
Just what
urgent
I remember
here.
from history class back in school. They're synthetics, non-organic life forms with limited AI programming, created by the Quarians a few centuries ago. They were supposed to be a source of cheap labor, but ended up turning on the Quarians and drove them into exile. Well, after that, they just kind of disappeared behind the Perseus Veil. Nobody's really heard much from them since.
Beacon.
Tell me everything you know about the beacon.
They were doing some digging out here to extend the monorail and expand the colony. A few weeks ago,
I'm
they
assuming
some
we'll get to
Prothean
harder
relics
enemies
and
shortly.
the beacon.
Like,
Suddenly,
in
every
the meantime,
scientific
I'm
expert
rolling
in
with the
colony was
sniper
interested.
because
That's when they brought us in to secure
it's
the
doing the
site.
job very cleanly.
I don't know much about the beacon itself, but I heard one of the researchers say this could be the biggest scientific discovery of the century.
What happened to the researchers at the dig site?
I don't know. They set up camp near the beacon. The 232 was with them. Maybe their unit fared better than mine.
For the attack.
Describe what happened leading up to the attack.
We were sent out a couple of nights ago from the main colony to secure the area. Seemed like a routine patrol until the Geth hit us. We never knew they were coming.
Scientists.
What happened to the researchers at the dig site?
I don't know.
Okay, so the exact
they
same
set up
line.
camp near the
That's
beacon.
fine.
The 232 was with them. Maybe their unit fared better than mine.
Have you seen a Turian Spectre around here?
There aren't any Turians on Eden Prime. None that I've ever met. Not sure I'd be able to tell if one was a Spectre anyway.
If you saw this guy, you'd know. Carries enough firepower to wipe out a whole platoon. Luckily, he's on our side.
Sorry. Like I said, no Turians.
Alright.
Move out!
Alright, press escape to go to squad screen, spend talents on new squad members. Okay, Ashley. She seems like she's solid with the pistol from that cutscene, so we'll let her keep doing that.
The beacon's at the far end of this trench.
Let's take those. Let's take those. Okay, equipment screen. Equipment screen allows you to equip and upgrade gear. Click the filter tab to switch items. Select an item. Click the equip to assign it. Click an equipped item's upgrade slot to select an upgrade. Click the Omnigel button to break down the selected item into Omnigel. Okay, so that's not... Well, it's less damage protection, but I have more shields. That. What about for him? This is a big upgrade for him. Ashley's got fine stuff. I think that Onyx 1. Let's convert to some Omnigel. Jeez. Or might have found Lena.
We thought this world was safe until the Geth showed up.
Okay. Approaching a low object will make you crouch behind it. go in a straight line. We got it. Okay, I got him. So say that's going to be terrible on my depth perception. Oh, is there one more there? Okay. So we got them all. Okay, so there's some crates in here. Take all. Oh,
This is
cutscene.
the dig site. The beacon was right here. It must have been moved.
By who? Our side or the Geth?
Hard to say. Maybe we'll know more after we check out the research camp.
Any
You think
survivors?
anyone got out of here alive?
If they were lucky. Maybe hiding up in the camp. It's just on the top of this ridge, up the ramps.
Okay.
Change of plans, Shepard. There's a small spaceport up ahead. I want to...
So we got some levels. Restore a portion of shields even while you're under 3, 4. Let's boost our charm up. Okay, let's get. I want him to be able to do some decryption and electronics work. He'll also have first aid. Her to have more pistol, increase pistol damage and accuracy. Okay, we got shotguns. We'll do that later. For combat armor. Upgrade soldier. We have more equipment. Okay, better shotgun. More damage, slightly less accurate. Better pistol. Okay, do we have... Okay, it's the same shotgun. Same pistol. Then for them, same shotgun. Same pistol. So it's Omni Gel Vat. Omni Gel. We'll convert all.
Check it out. I'll wait for you there.
So I'm just gonna save quick. So I'm still not entirely, I think it'll be more apparent later, like what exactly is Omni Gel for? So we'll figure that out.
Looks like they hit the camp hard.
It's a good place for an ambush. Keep your guard up.
What?
Oh god, they're still alive.
What did the Geth do to them?
We got zombies now? Or Borg? Okay. Interesting. Okay, let's do some decryption.
That door is closed. Security lock's engaged.
Some locked object required decryption or electronics to access. If any squad member has the required talent, you'll be able to unlock the object using the decryption or electronics interface or by spending Omni Gel. Advance to the central core. Move the mouse to move around the ring. Left and right click to move inward and outward. Security programs. Okay. Okay. That's not that bad.
Humans. Thank the Maker.
Okay.
Hurry! Close the door before they come back.
Tell me what
How
happened.
did you end up in this shed?
We hid here during the attack. They must have come here for the beacon. Luckily, it wasn't here. It was moved to the spaceport earlier this morning. Manuel and I stayed behind to pack up the camp. When the attack came, the Marines held them off long enough for us to hide. They gave their lives to save us.
No one is saved. The age of humanity is ended. Soon, only ruin and corpses will remain.
What else can you tell me about the attack?
It all happened so fast. 1 second we were gathering up our equipment. The next we were hiding in the shed while the Geth swarmed over the camp.
Agents of the Destroyers. Bringers of darkness. Heralds of our extinction.
Man, dude.
We could hear the battle outside. Gunfire.
Already I can tell which one of you I wants to survive.
Never end. Then everything
going forward.
went quiet. We just sat there, too afraid to move, until you came along.
Did you notice a Turian in the area?
I saw him, the Prophet, leader of the enemy. He was here before the attack.
That's impossible. Nihilus was with us in the Normandy before the attack.
It could have been a different Turian.
I'm sorry, Manuel's still a bit unsettled. We haven't seen your Turian. We've been hiding in here since the attack.
Can you tell me anything about the beacon?
It's some type of data module from a galaxy-wide communications network. Remarkably well preserved. It could be the greatest scientific discovery of our lifetime. Miraculous new technologies, groundbreaking medical advances. Who knows what secrets are locked inside?
We have unearthed the heart of evil.
Oh
Awakened the
God,
beast.
dude.
Unleashed the darkness.
Manuel, please. This isn't the time.
Assistant.
What's wrong with your assistant?
Manuel has a brilliant mind, but he's always been a bit unstable. Genius and madness are two sides of the same coin.
Is it madness to see the future? To see the destruction rushing towards us? To understand there is no escape? No hope? No. I am not mad. I'm the only sane one left.
Dude.
I gave him an extra dose of his meds after the attack.
I can shut
Say
him up.
goodnight, Manuel.
You cannot silence the truth. My voice must be heard.
Oh my God! What did you do?
That might have been a little extreme, Commander.
You can't just go around whacking people in the head.
Just a little bump on the head. Let him sleep it off.
I suppose you're right. By the time he wakes up, the meds will have kicked in.
Okay.
Williams, take us to the spaceport.
Good luck, Commander.
Alright.
Yes? Is there something you need?
We better get moving.
Good luck, Commander.
Okay, so nothing else. Anything we could take? Yeah. I don't feel bad about knocking him out. There we go. Take everything, and then I can review it all to figure out what I want to reduce to Omnigel. Upgrade kit. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, there's a yeah, that's a turret in there, looks like.
Saren. Nihilus.
He's Gethified.
This isn't your mission, Saren. What are you doing here?
Well, you can see the
Council thought you could use some help
wire
on
stuff
this
under
one.
him.
I wasn't expecting to find the Geth here. The situation's bad.
He's definitely a Geth.
Don't worry. I've got it under control.
What is that? Off in the distance.
See Geth there. So we got a lot of... Pick up some stuff before we go down there.
Smells like smoke and death.
Okay, can't go in there. Got it. Oh. Where'd that come from? Okay. Now I can. Let's do a manual override.
Everybody stay calm out there. We're coming out. We're not armed.
Is it safe? Are they gone?
They're gone.
We took care of them.
Those things were crawling all around the shed. They would have found us for sure. We owe you our lives.
I still can't believe it. When we saw that ship, I thought it was all over.
It showed up right before the attack. Knew it was trouble the second I saw it, so we made a break for the sheds.
Alright.
Tell me everything you remember about the
I
attack.
like how this is
Three
escalating.
of us
Like,
were working the crops when that ship showed up. We just saw it and ran.
I feel
don't know what
like
happened.
I want to say it's gradually,
They were by the garage, over near
but
the
like
spaceport, right
you
where the
have to
ship
kind
came
of jump
down.
right
No
at a
way they
certain
survived.
point. Like they establish some of the lore
We
when you're on the
survived.
ship,
If they made
and
it
then they
to
kind
the
of jump
garage,
right
they
in.
could have
Like,
had a
all
fighting
right,
chance.
so now you know how things just escalated, and you basically know what's the setup for the events going forward.
Do you know anything about the Prothean beacon they dug up?
We're just farmers. We heard they found something out there, but it never really mattered to us. Not until now.
What else can you tell me about the ship you saw?
I was too busy running to get a clear look at it. I think it landed over near the spaceport.
Tell them about the noise, Cole. That awful noise.
It was emitting some kind of signal as it descended. It sounded like the shriek of the damned. Only it was coming from inside your own head.
It was probably trying to block communications.
Whatever it was, felt like it was tearing right through my skull. Almost made it impossible to think.
Okay.
I have to go.
Hey, Cole, we're just a bunch of farmers. These guys are soldiers. Maybe we should give them the stuff.
Jeez, Blake, you gotta learn when to shut up.
You should come clean.
You have something to tell me, Cole?
Some guys at the spaceport were running a small smuggling ring, nothing major. In exchange for a cut of the profits, we let them store packages in our sheds.
Like what?
What kind of packages?
I found a pistol. Figured it would come in handy if those things came back. But you'll probably get more use out of it than we will.
Is that all?
We're risking our lives to save this colony. You sure there's nothing else in here that could help us out?
Yeah, there's one more thing. I was gonna sell it after this was over, but you probably deserve it more than I do.
Who's your contact at the spaceport, Cole? What's his name?
He's not a bad guy. I don't want to get him in trouble. Besides, I'm not a snitch.
He may know something.
He might have something to do with this whole attack, Cole. We need his name. It's important.
Yeah, okay, you're right. His name's Powell. Works the docks at the spaceport if he's still alive.
All right.
I have to go.
Good luck.
Okay. All right. So a lot of stuff there. We got a lot of equipment to assess. I'm not going to switch out my assault rifle or the shotgun. What about these pistols? Strike or Stinger 2? Yes. Do I have better armor? I think I'm going to stick with light armor. Yeah. So no upgrade there. Upgrade for her. Or him. It's Kaden. No. Yeah. Is there a better pistol for him? Both of them. He's losing a little accuracy, but he's gonna do more. That's not better for him. Okay, what about her? Yeah, we'll give her that. Nope. Is there a better pistol here too? Yeah, we'll give this. No. Nope. Okay. So Omnigel. We'll Omnigel all of these. Let's do another save. All right. Now we're gonna discover. Just check, make sure that's not something I could open. Nope. Okay. Now we're gonna find Nihilus.
Commander, it's Nihilus.
Get the metagel first.
Something's moving over behind those crates.
Wait! Don't shoot! I'm one of you! I'm human!
Who are you?
What are you doing sneaking around back there?
I am sorry, I was hiding from those creatures. My name's Powell. I saw what happened to that Turian. The other one shot him.
Other one?
What the hell are you talking about?
There were 2 Turians here. Your friend and another one he called Saren. I think they knew each other.
Ooh.
Your friend seemed to relax. He let his guard down. And Saren killed him. Shot him right in the back. I'm just lucky he didn't see me behind the crates.
What about the beacon?
We were told a Prothean beacon was brought to the spaceport. What happened to it?
It's over on the other platform. Probably where that guy Saren was headed. He hopped on the cargo train right after he killed your friend.
Okay.
I knew that beacon was trouble. Everything's gone to hell since we found it. First that damn mothership showed up, then the attack. They killed everyone. Everyone. If I hadn't been behind the crates, I'd be dead too.
You're Cole's contact here on the docks for the smuggling ring.
What? No! I mean, what does it matter now? So I'm a smuggler, who cares? My supervisor's dead, the entire crew's dead. Doesn't matter now, does it?
Anything hidden nearby that we could use against the Geth?
A shipment of grenades came through last week. Nobody notices if a few small pieces go missing from the military orders.
You greedy son of a bitch. We're out here trying to protect your sorry ass, and all you can think about is how you can rip us off?
I never thought you'd actually need those grenades. Who'd want to attack Eden Prime? We're just a bunch of farmers. How was I supposed to know?
Hand them over.
Just give me the grenades.
They're yours. Take them. My smuggling days are over, I swear.
Tell me about the Geth attack.
It was quick. 1 minute the ship was descending, the next, those Geth were swarming over the platform. Thousands of them. They must have been inside that mothership. They shot anything that moved. It was a massacre.
How come you're the only one who survived? Why didn't anyone else try to hide behind the crates?
They never had a chance. I was already behind the crates when the attack started.
Because he was smuggling.
Wait a minute. You were hiding behind the crates before the attack?
Sometimes I need a nap to get through my shift. I sneak off behind the crates to grab 40 winks where the supervisor can't find me.
You survived because you're lazy?
If you hadn't snuck off for that nap, you'd probably be dead just like all the others.
Yeah, I guess. I don't really want to think about it.
Beacon.
Is there anything else you can tell me about the beacon?
They brought it here this morning. We loaded it up onto the train and shipped it to the other platform.
I like
Hard to believe that was only a few
how
hours
much detail it gives you in each of these little things. Like,
Tell me about this
it
mothership
really does a good
you
job of
saw.
painting a picture of each
I've
person,
never seen
like
anything like it before.
being there and involved in the events.
It was huge. Landed over near that platform. The whole place got dark as it came down. And it was making this noise, this sound that bored right into your brain. That's what woke me up. The attack came a few minutes later.
Okay.
We need to find that beacon before it's too late.
Take the cargo train. That's where the other Turian went. I can't stay here. I need to get away from all this.
All right. fact that they just kind of pull out their weapons immediately when something's nearby makes life a lot easier. So I don't necessarily have to be paying attention. That's a good thing. But okay. So we'll want to just come down and around. Okay. There's more of them. There's still another one somewhere, apparently. Okay. It's actually a surprisingly large number of them. Okay, let's do another inventory check before I continue. Oh, I have different upgrades I can do. So how do I do that? Oh, I just double click it. Okay, cool. Okay, I do think I want to take the time to assign some other ones. Instead of projectiles, upgrade weapons release charged particles that bypass kinetic barrier shields. However, actual damage done to target is typically less than what's a standard round. Okay, let's do some radiation. A combat sensor. Her pistol can also have the radioactive. His assault rifle could have the basic round. Alright. So let's activate the train controls. Another Turian? Or is this...
Accept the charges. Destroy the
Saren.
entire colony. Leave no evidence that we were here.
Okay. Oh. They're gonna see us coming in. Why are we just standing like that while it's riding? Like, really killing it on the element of surprise here.
Demolition charges. The Geth must have planted them.
Hurry! We need to find them all and shut them down.
Alright, so there's one. Okay, is there a sprint button that I'm forgetting? I just want to check that again. Sprint is spacebar. Got it. Spacebar is everything. No? Okay. That's stressful. Okay, one more charge. Not it. There it is. Okay. Anything over here? Okay. Don't see anything else over there. Left over there. Okay. Took him out. Assuming we're going this way now. Oh, yep. Up here. Okay. There's more. Other okay. What else do we got here? Okay. Some crates and some lockers. Let's do a manual again. Her thing up here. No, got it. Okay. Assuming we're going this way. another storage locker. Okay, cool. Not too bad. Which way, where do we go now? Okay, I guess it's... Oh, the beacon. How could I have missed it? But Saren got to it already.
Normandy, the beacon is secure.
This is amazing. Actual working Prothean technology. Unbelievable.
It wasn't doing anything like that when they dug it up.
Something must have activated it.
Roger, Normandy. Standing by.
Uh-oh.
No, don't touch it. It's too...
Oh. Okay. So they mentioned equipment and powers. I'm assuming this is what introduces me to powers. Is that unlocked some latent ability then?
We identified the ship that touched down on Eden Prime. The Normandy. A human alliance vessel. It was under the command of Captain Anderson. They managed to save the colony.
And the beacon.
One of the humans may have used it.
This human must be eliminated.
Oh. So before he backed away, I was about to say I love the character designs, but I held off for a sec because I felt like it would have been bad timing to say it right at that moment.
I think she's waking up.
But all the alien designs
You had
so
us
far are
worried
very,
there,
very
Shep.
cool.
How are you feeling?
What happened?
How did I end up here? How long was I out?
About 15 hours. Something happened down there with the beacon, I think.
It's my fault. I must have triggered some kind of security field when I approached it. You had to push me out of the way.
What about
Where's the beacon now? What happened to it?
The beacon exploded. A system overload, maybe. The blast knocked you cold. Williams and I had to carry you back here to the ship.
I appreciate it.
Physically, you're fine. But I detected some unusual brain activity. Abnormal beta waves.
You've got
I
powers.
also noticed an increase in your rapid eye movement. Signs typically associated with intense dreaming.
I saw... I'm not sure what I saw. Death, destruction... Nothing's really clear.
I better add this to my report. It may... Oh, Captain Anderson.
How's our XO holding up, Doctor?
Well, all the readings look normal. I'd say the commander's going to be fine.
Glad to hear it. Shepard, I need to speak with you. In private.
Aye, aye, Captain. I'll be in the mess if you need me.
Sounds like that beacon hit you pretty hard, Commander. Are you sure you're okay?
What happened
Did
to
we leave
Williams?
Gunnery Chief Williams back on Eden Prime?
I figured we could use a soldier like her. She's been reassigned to the Normandy.
Good.
Williams is a good soldier. She deserves it.
Lieutenant Alenko agrees with you. That's why I added her to our crew.
I don't like soldiers dying under my command.
Jenkins wasn't your fault. You did a good job, Shepard.
Pissed about the
Intel
gap.
dropped the ball, sir. We had no idea what we were walking into down there. That's why things went to hell.
The Geth haven't been outside the Veil in 2 centuries, Commander. Nobody could have predicted this.
You said you needed to see me in private, Captain?
I won't lie to you, Shepard. Things look bad. Nihilus is dead. The beacon was destroyed and Geth are invading. The Council's going to want answers.
I didn't do anything wrong, Captain. Hopefully the Council can see that.
I'll stand behind you and your report, Shepard. You're a damned hero in my books. That's not why I'm here. It's Saren, that other Turian. Saren's a Spectre, one of the best, a living legend. But if he's working with the Geth, it means he's gone rogue. A rogue Spectre's trouble. Saren's dangerous, and he hates humans.
Why?
He thinks we're growing too fast, taking over the galaxy. A lot of aliens think that way. Most of them don't do anything about it. But Saren has allied himself with the Geth. I don't know how, I don't know why. I only know it had something to do with that beacon. You were there just before that beacon self-destructed. Did you see anything? Any clue that might tell us what Saren was after?
Vision.
Just before I lost consciousness, I had some kind of vision.
A vision? A vision of what?
War.
I saw synthetics. Geth, maybe. Slaughtering people. Butchering them.
Okay.
We need to report.
Glad she was able to describe all that, because I wasn't able to fully tell what all she saw in that. What will we say?
What are we gonna tell them? I had a bad dream?
We don't know what information was stored in that beacon. Lost Prothean technology? Blueprints for some ancient weapon of mass destruction? Whatever it was. Saren took it. But I know Saren. I know his reputation is politics. He believes humans are a blight on the galaxy. This attack was an act of war. He has the secrets from the beacon. He has an army of Geth at his command, and he won't stop until he's wiped humanity from the face of the galaxy.
I'll stop him.
I'll find some way to take him down.
It's not that easy. He's a Spectre. He can go anywhere, do almost anything. That's why we need the Council on our side.
We prove Saren's gone rogue and the Council will revoke his Spectre status.
I'll contact the Ambassador and see if he can get us an audience with the Council. He'll want to see us as soon as we reach the Citadel. We should be getting close. Head up to the bridge and tell Joker to bring us into dock.
Okay. So before I go up there, just look around. Let's look at the Codex. Primary history summary. Okay, so that's just all the lore stuff we already know. Okay, so humanity and system timeline. This will be interesting to understand. So 2069, Armstrong Outpost at Shackleton Crater becomes the first human settlement on Luna, is formally founded on July 24th, 100th anniversary of the first lunar landing. Lal City in Eos Chasma becomes the first human settlement on Mars in 2103. 2137, Eldfell Ashland Energy Corporation demonstrates helium-3 fuel extraction from atmosphere of Saturn. 2142, construction of Gagarin Station begins beyond the orbit of Pluto. 2148, prospectors discover protean ruins at Prometheus Planum on Mars. 2149, translation of protean data leads humans to the Charon Mass Relay Systems Alliance founded to coordinate exploration and colonization of extrasolar worlds. 2151, shipping accident at Singapore International Spaceport exposes downwind communities to containers of dust form element 0. Alliance begins construction of Arcturus Station. 2052, roughly 30% of children born in Singapore after element 0 exposure suffer from cancerous growth. System Alliance begins settlements in Earth's first extrasolar colony world, the planet Demeter. 2054, Shepard's born. 55, Systems Alliance occupies completed portion of Arcturus Station. 2056, some children of Singapore exhibit minor telekinetic abilities. 2057, Turians encounter human explorers. First Contact War, occupation liberation of the human colony of Shanxi. 2058, humans learn potential biotics. An international effort to track element 0 exposures begin. Roughly 10% exposed children show some level of biotic ability. 2160 System Alliance Parliament found. 65 humans establish embassy on Citadel. 70 Batarian slavers attack Alliance colony. 2176 Skylian Blitz pirates and slavers attacked Elysium, the human capital in the Skylian Verge. 77 Thresher Maws devour the Alliance colony of Akuz. 78 in retaliation to the Sicilian Blitz, an Alliance fleet wipes out an army of slavers. And 2183 current date. Alright, so we are 29 years old. Ships and vehicles. Starship sensors. Light lag prevents sensing in real time at great distances. A ship firing its thrusters at the Charon relay can be easily detected from Earth 5.75 light hours, 6 billion kilometers away. But Earth will only see the event 5 hours 45 minutes after it occurs due to the light speed limit. Defenders can't see enemies coming until they've already arrived. Because there's FTL travel and communications, but no FTL centers. Frigates are crucial for scouting and picket duties. Passive sensors are used for long-range detection, while active sensors obtain short-range, high-quality targeting data. Passive sensors include visual, thermographic, and radio detectors that watch and listen for objects in space. A powered ship emits a great deal of energy. The heat of the life support systems, the radiation given off by power plants and electrical equipment, exhaust of the thrusters, starships stand out plainly against the near absolute zero background of space. Passive sensors can be used during FTL travel, but incoming data is significantly distorted by the effects of the mass effect envelope and Doppler shift. Active sensors are radars and high-resolution LiDARs, laser detection and ranging, that emits a ping of energy and listen for return signals. LiDARs have a narrower field of view than radar, but LiDAR resolution allows images of detected objects to be assembled. Active sensors are useless when a ship is moving at FTL speeds. Okay. Just glancing at one thing. Weapons, armor, and equipment. Development of practical manufacturing Omni tools allows modern militaries a great deal of flexibility in equipment loadouts. A vast number of field modification kits or upgrades are available for common equipment such as weapons, armor, Omni tools, biotic amps, and even grenades. An upgrade kit typically consists of less than a dozen unique parts and an optical storage disk. When loaded into an Omni tool, the OSD provides all technical specifications required to manufacture the tools and additional parts necessary to install the upgrade onto another piece of equipment. Assembly is typically modular. Installation can be completed in less than a minute. Since Omni tools are designed to use common battlefield salvage materials such as plastics, ceramics, and light metals rendered into semi-molten Omni gel for quick use, it is quite possible for a trained soldier carrying upgrade kits to customize gear on the battlefield to fit the current tactical situation. Okay. So those were the secondary. What about primary?
Roughly 1,200 years ago, the Turians were invited to join the Citadel Council to fulfill the role of galactic peacekeepers.
This one gets read to
me. The Turians have the largest fleet in Citadel space, and they make up the single largest portion of the Council's military forces. As their territory and influence has spread, the Turians have come to rely on the Solarians for military intelligence and the Asari for diplomacy.
Okay,
despite
we haven't met
a somewhat
Solarians or
colonial
Asari
attitude
yet.
Towards the rest of the galaxy, the ruling hierarchy understands they would lose more than they would gain if the other two races were ever removed. Turians come from an autocratic society that values discipline and possesses a strong sense of personal and collective honor. There is lingering animosity between Turians and humans over the First Contact War of 2157, which is known as the Relay 314 incident to the Turians. Officially, however, the two species are allies, and they enjoy civil, if cool, diplomatic relations. 50,000 years ago, the Protheans were the only spacefaring species in the galaxy. They vanished in a swift galactic extinction. Only the legacy of their empire remains. They are believed to have built the mass relays and the Citadel, which have allowed numerous species to explore and expand throughout the galaxy. Prothean ruins are found on worlds across the galaxy. While surprisingly intact for their age, functioning examples of Prothean paleotechnology are rare. Time and generations of looters have picked their dead cities and derelict stations clean. Some believe the Protheans meddled in the
So we'll just work our way through all
races.
of these to get a
The
sense of all the
world
lore
of Kaje, for example, shows clear evidence of former Prothean occupation. The presence of a former Prothean observation post on Mars has caused a rebirth of interventionary evolutionists among humans. These individuals believe the god myths of ancient civilizations are misremembered encounters with aliens.
Ancient astronaut theorists would agree.
The Geth are a humanoid race of networked AIs. They were created by the Quarians 300 years ago as tools of labor and war. When the Geth showed signs of self-evolution, the Quarians attempted to exterminate them. The Geth won the resulting war. This example has led to legal, systematic repression of artificial intelligences in galactic society. The Geth possess a unique distributed intelligence. An individual has rudimentary animal instincts, but as their numbers and proximity increase, the apparent intelligence of each individual improves. In groups, they can reason, analyze situations, and use tactics, as well as any organic race. Geth space is located at the trailing end of the Perseus Arm, beyond the lawless Terminus systems. The Perseus Veil, an obscuring dark nebula of opaque gas and dust, lies between
I hope that
their
once I'm able to
space
start
and the
traveling
Terminus
places,
systems.
they'll give me a nice map that I'll be able to visualize where all this stuff is relative to each other.
After the Geth secure a location, they round up and impale dead and living bodies on mechanical spikes. The spikes rapidly transform these victims into withered husks, extracting water and trace minerals, and replacing them with cybernetics. The cybernetics reanimate the lifeless flesh and tissue, transforming the bodies into mindless killing machines. Some Alliance soldiers refer to the husk
A little more
generating
menacing than
spikes
the Borg.
as dragon's teeth, a reference to the mythological berserkers who sprang up from the earth wherever the teeth of the dragon Eris were planted. Dragon's teeth and husks bear little resemblance to other pieces of Geth technology. No one is sure why a synthetic race would bother to drain the minuscule amount of recoverable resources from organic corpses, though the value of reusing them as shock troops is obvious.
Yep.
The Citadel is an ancient deep space station, presumably constructed by the Protheans. Since the Prothean extinction, numerous species have come to call the Citadel home. It serves as the political, cultural, and financial capital of the galactic community. To represent their interests, most species maintain
I'm glad that
embassies
this
on
has
the
become a
Presidium,
very common
the Citadel's
thing in
inner ring.
games,
The
of
Citadel
like a
Tower
codex
in the center of the
or
Presidium
encyclopedia
holds the
or,
Citadel Council chambers.
Just
Council
like
affairs often have
lore
far-reaching effects
dump
on the rest
area
of the
where you can
galactic
go through
community.
and just read all these
5
things.
arms, known as the wards, extend from the
It's just
Presidium.
such a handy thing
Their
to
inner
like go back and
surfaces have
double
been
check
built into
stuff.
cities, populated by millions of
And
inhabitants
just
from
adds
across
to the
the
world
galaxy.
building. Like if you don't
The
want to look at it,
Citadel
you
is
don't have
virtually
to.
indestructible.
But it's there.
If attacked, the station can close its arms to form a
solve
solid,
stuff. Like, I think
impregnable
to me
shell.
the most useful one
For as
was
long as the station has existed,
Witcher 3's
an enigmatic race
being
called
able to
the
look at the
Keepers has maintained it.
I'm calling it a bestiary. I don't remember if that's what it was called. To be able to like look at like, oh, like this enemy I'm encountering, like what do I do against it? So that I really came to like them even more than I already did for that games, because it had a very direct usefulness to consult it to help you with your combat.
Spectres are agents from the Office of Special Tactics and Reconnaissance, and answer only to the Citadel Council. They are elite military operatives, granted the authority to deal with threats to peace and stability in whatever way they deem necessary. They operate independently or in groups of 2 or 3. Some are empathetic peacekeepers, resolving disputes through diplomacy. Others are cold-blooded assassins, ruthlessly dispatching problem individuals. All get the job done one way or another, often operating outside the bounds of galactic law. The Spectres were founded after the Solarians joined the Council. For many years they operated in secrecy as backroom problem solvers. Only after the Krogan rebellions did their activities become publicized. Assignment of a Spectre is less contentious than a military deployment, but makes it clear that the Council is concerned about a situation.
So that explains the start of the game, the dialogue where everyone's like, a Spectre's here, like, bro, there's no way this is just a simple non-event mission.
Humanity's first contact with an alien race occurred in 2157. At that time, the Alliance allowed survey fleets to activate any dormant mass relays discovered, a practice considered dangerous and irresponsible by Council-aligned races. When a Turian patrol discovered a human fleet attempting to activate a relay, they attacked. One human vessel survived, retreating to the colony of Shanxi. The Turians followed, quickly defeating the local forces. Shanxi was occupied, the first and to date only human world to be conquered by an alien species. The Turians believed the handful of ships they defeated represented the bulk of human defenses, so they were unprepared when the Second Fleet, under Admiral Castany Drescher, launched a strong counteroffensive, evicting them from Shanxi. The Turians mobilized for full-scale war, drawing the attention of the rest of the galaxy. The Council quickly intervened, forcing a truce. Fortunately for humanity, the First Contact War was ended with a diplomatic solution. The Systems Alliance is an independent supranational government representing the interests of humanity as a whole. The Alliance is responsible for the governance and defense of all extrasolar colonies and stations. The Alliance grew out of the various national space programs as a matter of practicality. Sol's planets had been explored and exploited through piecemeal national efforts. The expense of colonizing entire new solar systems could not be met by any one country. With humans knowing that alien contact was inevitable, there was enough political will to jointly fund an international effort. Still, the Alliance was often disregarded by those on Earth until the First Contact War. While the national governments dithered and bickered over who should lead the effort to liberate Shanxi, the Alliance fleet struck decisively. Post-war public approval gave the Alliance the credibility to establish its own parliament and become the galactic face of humanity.
Now, planets and locations. I think we only have...
The Terminus systems are located on the far side of the Attican Traverse, beyond the space administered by the Citadel Council or claimed by the Human Systems Alliance. It is populated by a loose affiliation of minor species, united only in their refusal to acknowledge the political authority of the Council or adhere to the Citadel Conventions. Their independence comes at a price. The Terminus is fraught with conflict. War among the various species is common, as governments and dictators constantly rise and fall. The region is a haven for illegal activities, particularly piracy and the slave trade. At least once a year, a fleet from the Terminus invades the nearby Attican Traverse. These attacks are typically small raids against poorly defended colonies. The Council rarely retaliates, as sending patrols into the Terminus systems could unify the disparate species against their common foe, triggering a long and costly war.
Weapons, armor, and equipment.
Combat hard suits use a dual-layer system to protect the wearer. The
I don't know
inner
what
layer
alien
consists of
species that
fabric
is,
armor
but it
with
looks
kinetic
really
padding.
goofy in that
Areas
armor.
that don't need to be flexible, such as the chest or shins, are reinforced with sheets of lightweight, ablative ceramic. The outer layer consists of automatically generated kinetic barriers. Objects traveling above a certain speed will trigger the barrier's reflex system and be deflected, provided there is enough energy left in the shield's power cell. Armored hard suits are sealable to protect the wearer from extremes of temperature and atmosphere. Standard equipment includes an onboard mini-frame and a communications, navigation, and sensing suite. The mini-frame is designed to accept and display data from a weapon's smart targeting system to make it easier to locate and eliminate enemies.
Now, kinetic barriers.
Kinetic barriers,
shields.
more commonly called shields, provide protection against most mass accelerator weapons. Whether on a starship or a soldier's suit of armor, the basic principle remains the same. Kinetic barriers are repulsive mass effect fields, projected from tiny emitters. These shields safely deflect small objects traveling at rapid velocities. This affords protection from bullets and other dangerous projectiles, but still allows the user to sit down without knocking away their chair. The shielding afforded by kinetic barriers does not protect against extremes of temperature, toxins, or radiation.
Okay, so we got through that. A journal. So next up, speak to the Joker. Cool. So we got to look through all that. So So now let's continue on. Let's make our way up.
Glad to see you're okay, Commander. Commander, I'm
Talk
glad
to
to see
everyone.
you're okay. Losing Jenkins was hard on the crew, and I'm glad we didn't lose you too.
Jenkins will be
I wish I
missed.
could have done something to save him.
I was there. You did everything right. It was just bad luck. It's been a hell of a shakedown, Cruz. Our first mission ends with one Spectre killing another. The Citadel Council's not going to be happy about that. Probably use it to lever more concessions out of the Alliance.
Seems like
Got a
you've
good
been
grasp
around.
of the situation. You a career man?
Yeah, a lot of biotics are. We're not restricted, but we sure don't go undocumented. May as well get a paycheck for it.
Okay, so he's
Besides,
one of the
my
people
father
that
served. I made him proud.
is
of my
biotic.
Eventually. But is that why you're here? Because of your family?
I never met my parents. If they wanted to see me, they'd have contacted me after that mess a few years back.
Oh, that's right, a Coos. I imagine that bought you any post in the fleet. Word is we're heading for the Citadel, ma'am. Can you, tell me why?
Want to brief the
Captain
council.
hopes the ambassador can get an audience with the council. Tell them what Saren's been up to.
Makes sense. They'd probably like to know he's not working for them anymore. Whatever happens, we'll be ready, Commander.
Alright. I guess we're going to be going that way eventually. Let's talk to
I'm
Ashley
glad you're
next.
okay, Commander. The crew could use some good news after what happened to Jenkins.
He'll be missed.
Jenkins was a valuable part of this crew.
Part of me feels guilty over what happened. If Jenkins was still alive, I might not be here.
You earned it.
You're a good soldier, Williams. You belong on the Normandy.
Thanks, Commander. I appreciate that.
How are you holding up?
Things were pretty rough down there. Are you okay?
I've seen friends die before. Comes with being a Marine. But to see my whole unit wiped out.
Yeah.
And you never get used to seeing dead civilians. But things would have been a lot worse if you hadn't have shown up.
You helped.
We couldn't have done it without you, Williams.
Thanks, Commander. I have to admit, I was a little worried about being assigned to the Normandy. It's nice when someone makes you feel welcome.
Glad to have
I think
you.
you're gonna fit in here just fine, Williams.
Thanks, Commander.
Paragon +2. What does that mean? Oh. Paragon. Hopefully that gets explained at some point. Maybe
Yes,
that's like
Commander?
morality or
Is
something.
there something you need?
Personal question.
How did you end up serving on an Alliance ship?
I enlisted right out of med school. Earth always seemed boring to me. Too safe, too secure. I figured the colonies were teeming with exotic adventure. I wanted to travel the stars, tending the wounds of tough soldiers with piercing eyes and sensitive souls. Turns out military life isn't quite as romantic as I'd imagined. But humanity needs the Alliance if we want to keep expanding through the Traverse, and the Alliance always needs good doctors. So I stayed on to do my part.
Any regrets?
Ever think you made the wrong choice?
Sometimes I think about opening a private practice back on Earth, or maybe taking a position at one of the new med centers out in the colonies. But there's something special about working on soldiers. If I left the Alliance now, I'd feel like I was abandoning them.
Okay, fair. Captain Anderson.
What do you know about Captain Anderson?
I've served with him for a few tours now. He knows when to let things slide and when to crack the whip. The crew knows he's seen pretty much anything they'll ever run into. And he cares about the people under his command.
And
How
Caden.
well do you know the lieutenant?
I'd never worked with him before this mission. But he has an impressive service record, over a dozen special commendations. Tends to keep to himself, though. Maybe because of the headaches. It's not easy being an L2.
What does that have to
Find
do
out
with
with
it?
that.
Well, most biotics now use the L3 implants. Lieutenant Alenko was wired with the old L2 configuration. Sometimes there are complications.
What kind of complications?
Severe mental disabilities, insanity, crippling physical pain. There's a long list of horrific side effects. Caden's lucky. He just gets migraine.
I should go.
Cool.
Goodbye, Commander.
Good to know. Okay, so that's probably going to take me up, or I could take the stairs. Can I talk to these people? Nope. Oh, I think those look like that might be some of the civilians that were down there. So let's go into the elevator. Head on up. We're down. I guess we're going down. The Normandy's vehicle bay. Using a squad member's locker allows you to assign equipment to them. New equipment may be purchased from the requisition officer. Okay.
Hey, Commander. Looking for some extra supplies before you head out?
What have you got?
Whatever you want. Armor, weapons, mods. It's not standard Alliance issue, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Well, as long as you don't mind paying for it.
Why should I pay you for my weapons and armor?
My stuff doesn't come from the Alliance. I have to purchase it myself, and it's not cheap.
Okay.
Hell, the licenses alone have set me back more than I'd like. But no licenses, no goods. Without the goods, I'm out of a job.
Let's investigate. Licenses.
What are licenses? Why do you need them?
Manufacturers sell licenses. Each license allows me to buy and sell a certain brand of product.
So I wonder if I get to buy licenses
I already
later.
have several basic ones, but you'll need to buy more if you want me to bring in different brands. Many of the best licenses are hard to get, but they're well worth the cost if you can find them.
What do the different manufacturers offer?
There are too many for me to keep track of, but each license will explain what it's good for.
Cool. New items.
How often will you get new items?
Well, that depends on how many licenses you've purchased, but I'll rotate items on a regular basis regardless. And anytime we land someplace with a big enough port, I'll buy, sell, and trade whatever I can. Check back often. I need to move items quickly, so only the most basic items will be stocked consistently.
Okay.
Let's see what you got.
You bet, Commander.
Okay, we don't have money for that. But it's also heavy, so I don't think I'm going to buy the heavy. Ooh, Avenger 3. That's cool. Okay, so what do I have to sell? Okay, so let's work our way through. Let's adjust my equipment first. It's less accurate, more damage. Let's equip that. No. Yeah, let's equip that. Transfer. Okay. So now we can...
Looking for supplies?
Yes.
Let's see what you got.
You bet, Commander.
So now we can... So we'll keep these medium armors for now. We'll sell those. Keep the upgrades. I guess the lockers are over here. Caden's locker, Ashley's locker. Cool. What does this door go to? Field integrity monitor. Engineer Adams.
Jenkins, Commander.
Okay, nothing else there. So let's head upstairs again. I love how just on the ship itself there's so much stuff to explore. here. Let's see, Navigator
Glad
Presley.
you're okay, Commander. Losing Jenkins was hard enough on the crew.
Nav manual. So I'm gonna go to the codex for that. Okay, comlink. Another codex. How close are we to another level? Very close to another level. Let's check out these codex entries. Okay, military jargon. Ask for when a ship's crew leaves the vessel. Oh, ashore. Shore leave. Not ask for. It's been a long day. Alright. When a ship's crew leaves the vessel, they are ashore. Though normally used regarding planets, it can refer to boarding a space station. Away, when a ship releases the equipment tethering it to a space station or surface dock. Aye, the proper way to acknowledge an order. ASAP, as soon as possible. Belay, stop or cease. Bridge, navigation center. Captain's mast, non-judicial disciplinary proceedings by unit commanders. CIC, combat information center. The command center of spacecraft. CIC is filled with sensor displays to make sense out of the chaos of combat. DC, damage control. ECM, electronic countermeasures used to avoid enemy sensors from passive emissions masking to active jamming. EVA, extravehicular activity, time spent in a pressure suit outside of a vehicle, spacecraft, or station. Flank. Flank is the side of a military formation. Since the soldiers are facing elsewhere, an enemy that can attack on the flank can often turn it or roll it up. FNG, freaking new guys, a derisive term for inexperienced personnel. Ground side, surface of the planet, helmsman, crew member who pilots spacecraft. LADAR, light amplified detection and ranging, active sensor that bounces lasers off an object to determine its bearing and distance. LADAR has sufficient resolution that the data can be reconstructed into an image. Shore party, spacecraft crew sent ashore on official business. Silent running, an old submariner's term used aboard the Normandy to note when stealth systems are active. SITREP, abbreviation for Situation Report. Spacer, someone who has spent most of their life in space. EXO, executive officer. Technology. Biotic amps. Biotics manipulate mass effect fields using dozens of element zero nodules with their nervous systems that react to electric stimuli from the brain. Amplifiers allow biotics to synchronize the nodules so they can form fields large and strong enough for practical use. Amplifiers can improve a specific discipline or talent. An implant is a surgically embedded interface port into which amps are plugged in. On humans, the implant is usually placed at the base of the skull for convenient access, although the user must be careful to keep it free of contaminants. Implant ports can fit a variety of amps, and there is a growing market for modifications and add-ons. The finest quality implants and amps are manufactured by Asari artisans, but the Alliance's L3 implants, first deployed in 2170, are a significant step forward. Real-time communication is possible thanks to networks of expensive mass relay comm buoys that can daisy-chain a transmission via lasers. Comm buoys are maintained in patterns built outward from each mass relay. Buoys are a little more than a cluster of primitive, miniature mass relays. Each individual buoy is connected to a partner or another buoy in the network, forming a corridor of low mass space. Tight beam communication lasers are piped through these tubes of FTL space, allowing virtually instantaneous communication to anywhere on the network. The networks connect across regions by communication lasers through the mass relays. With this system, the only communications delay is the light lag between the source of destination and the closest buoy. So long as the parties remain within half a light second, 150,000 kilometers, of buoys, seamless real-time communications are possible. Since buoys are maintained in all traveled areas, most enjoy unlimited instant communication. Ships only suffer communication lag when operating off established deep space routes around uninhabited outer system gas giants and other unsettled areas. During wartime, comm buoy networks are the first targets of attack. Once the network is severed, it can take anywhere from weeks to years to get a message out of a contested system. In systems where a buoy network has not yet been built or has been destroyed, rapid communication means ferrying information through high-speed courier ships and unmanned data drones. Okay. That's a new primary.
Biotics is the ability of rare individuals to manipulate dark energy and create mass effect fields through the use of electrical impulses from the brain. Intense training and surgically implanted amplifiers are necessary for a biotic to produce mass effect fields powerful enough for practical use. The relative strength of biotic abilities varies greatly among species and with each individual.
Ooh, I can't wait till we can
There are
start
three
getting
branches of
these
biotics.
skills.
Telekinesis uses mass-lowering fields to levitate or impel objects. Mass-raising kinetic fields are used to block or pin objects. Spatial distortion uses rapidly shifting mass fields to shred objects. Most organic species are capable of developing biotic abilities, though there are risks involved. Biotics are the result of an in utero exposure to element 0. This usually causes fatal cancers in the victim, but in rare cases, it coalesces into nodules within the fetus's developing nervous system.
So element 0.
When subjected to an electrical current, the rare material dubbed element 0, or EZO, emits a dark energy field that raises or lowers the mass of all objects within it. This mass effect is used in countless ways, from generating artificial gravity to manufacturing high-strength construction materials. It is most prominently used to enable faster-than-light space travel. EZO is generated when solid matter, such as a planet, is affected by the energy of a star going supernova. The material is common in the asteroid debris that orbits neutron stars and pulsars. These are dangerous places to mine, requiring extensive use of robotics, telepresence, and shielding to survive the incredible radiation from the dead star. Only a few major corporations can afford the setup costs required to work these primary sources. Humanity discovered refined element 0 at the Prothean Research Station on Mars, allowing them to create mass effect fields and develop FTL travel. Element 0 can increase
I
or
love that they're
decrease
taking
the
the time to
mass of a
explain all
volume of
this, like,
space-time when subjected
obviously
to
they're
an
not
electrical
going
current.
into all the finer
With a
detail
positive
of
current,
the science.
mass is increased. With a negative current,
It's just the
mass
top level
is
concepts,
decreased.
but
The
I
stronger
appreciate
the current,
that
the greater
being
the
a
magnitude
physicist,
of the dark energy mass effect.
seeing
In
them
space,
explain it all
low
and
mass
try to
fields
like
allow FTL travel and inexpensive surface-to-orbit transit. High mass
just
fields
create enough
artificial
of a
gravity
backstory of like
and
this
push
is how
space
it
debris
works,
away
so you're
from
not
vessels.
like
In
having to
manufacturing,
like
low
not
mass
everyone
fields permit
nitpicks
the
it,
creation
but
of
if someone
evenly
wanted to
blended
nitpick and be
alloys,
like, well,
while
how
high
does
mass
it actually
compaction
work?
creates
It's like
dense, sturdy
they at least give some of the
construction
details that
the military makes extensive
even if they
use of
don't explain the full
mobility-enhancing
thing,
technologies.
it gives you
With Mass
enough to be
Effect
like, all right,
utilizing fighting vehicles
there's how I
standard
can believe that
frontline
it's a real
issue
thing.
in most military forces. Mass effect fields are also essential in the creation of kinetic barriers or shields to protect against enemy fire.
Omni-tools.
Omni-tools are handheld devices that combine a computer microframe, sensor analysis pack, and manufacturing fabricator. Versatile and reliable, an Omni-tool can be used to analyze and adjust the functionality of most standard equipment, including weapons and armor, from a distance. The fabrication module can rapidly assemble small three-dimensional objects from common reusable industrial plastics, ceramics, and light alloys. This allows for field repairs and modifications to most standard items, as well as the reuse of salvaged equipment. Omni-tools are standard issue for soldiers and first-in colonists.
Okay. So we got all of those details. All right. So now let's make our way. Assuming I still can't. Not open that. Okay, Joker. Joker's the only one here. Got it.
Good timing, Commander. I was just about to bring us into the Citadel. See that taxpayer money at work.
So I'm unclear right now. Is this the Citadel, or did we just use that? Yeah, that was to... Was that to jump to it? Still a little unclear there.
Look at the size of that ship.
The Ascension, flagship of the Citadel fleet.
Well, size isn't everything.
Why so touchy, Joker?
I'm just saying you need firepower too.
Look at that monster. Its main gun could rip through the barriers in any ship in the Alliance fleet.
Good thing it's on our side, then.
Citadel Control, this is SSV Normandy, requesting permission to land.
Stand by for clearance, Normandy. Clearance granted. You may begin your approach. Transferring you to an Alliance operator.
Roger, Alliance Tower. Normandy out.
Normandy, this is Alliance Tower. Please proceed to Dock 422.
How large the place is, I'd love to know how their numbering system is fully set up to, like, find all of those docks.
This is an outrage! The Council
Someone
would
being there
step
for the
in if
first
they
time,
get
just
attacked at Turian
circling
colony!
around.
The Turians don't found colonies on the borders of the Terminus systems, Ambassador.
Humanity was well aware of the risks when you went into the Traverse.
What about Saren? You can't just ignore a rogue Spectre. I demand action!
You don't get to make demands of the Council, Ambassador.
Citadel Security is investigating your charges against Saren. We will discuss the CSEC findings at the hearing, not before.
Captain Anderson, I see you brought half your crew with you.
Just the ground team from Eden Prime, in case you had any questions.
I have the mission reports. I assume they're accurate?
They are.
I'm not liking this ambassador so
give us an
far.
audience.
They were not happy about
I mean, he's a politician,
Saren's
so...
their top agent. They don't like him being accused of treason.
It's the truth.
Saren's a threat to every human colony out there. If they don't stop him, I will.
Settle down, Commander. You've already done more than enough to jeopardize your candidacy for the Spectres. The mission on Eden Prime was a chance to prove you could get the job done. Instead, Nihilus ended up dead and the beacon was destroyed.
That's Saren's fault, not hers.
Then we better hope the CSEC investigation turns up evidence to support our accusations. Otherwise, the Council might use this as an excuse to keep you out of the Spectres. Come with me, Captain. I want to go over a few things before the hearing. Shepard, you and the others can meet us at the Citadel Tower, top level. I'll make sure you have clearance to get in.
And that's why I hate politicians.
Nailed it. Okay, so I can... Ooh, okay. So that's where we are right now. Ooh, okay. I like that. Marks all kinds of stuff to check out. Yeah, let's do a little hacking while we're here. Oop. Captain Henderson reports some unusual energy readings during a patrol of the Argos Rogue Cluster. She had particular concerns about the Hydra system, but was recalled before her team could investigate further. No patrols are scheduled for that sector. Do we want to send in a recon team? Okay, so I'm assuming that... Oh. Let's not accidentally pull our guns out while we're exploring after a potential diplomatic issue was created. Okay, I want to speak to Avina.
Welcome to the Presidium.
The Presidium.
Greetings and welcome to the Presidium. My name is Avina, and I am pleased to be your virtual guide throughout this level of the Citadel space station.
Are you real?
So are you a person or a program?
I am a fully interactive virtual intelligence. programmed to provide spontaneous guidance at predetermined locations of interest throughout this level of the Citadel. I may also be contacted through any of the Presidium VI terminals, should you require assistance.
Give me the tour.
You are standing at Presidium Tourism Terminal 1. On either side of this lobby are the embassies of the various Citadel races, along with CSEC headquarters.
Okay.
On the far end of this level, you can see the Citadel Tower, where the Council meets regularly to discuss matters of interstellar importance.
I want to know more about Citadel security.
Citadel security serves as law enforcement for all regions of the Citadel, though the majority of officers serve in the wards.
Again, it's
Executor
Brand
Paladin
is just like
Aturian is the current
a
head of
tour
CSEC,
guide,
but
but we're getting
individuals from virtually
all the
every
lore about the
species
city.
across
I love
Citadel
it.
space serve as officers beneath him. If you wish to learn more, Executor Palin's office is located in the CSEC headquarters just across the lobby.
Tell me about the embassies.
Each species in Citadel space important enough to be consulted on matters of galactic politics maintains an embassy on the Presidium. The Volus were the first non-council species to be granted an embassy, roughly 2,384 galactic standard years ago. As Citadel space has expanded, more embassies have been added. The most recently added embassy belongs to your own species, humanity. It was added 19 galactic standard years ago, despite some rather vocal opposition.
Why was
Why
humanity
were people
opposed?
trying to keep my species out?
Some species felt humanity was given preferential treatment. It often takes a century or more before a new species is granted an embassy. The Council gave a great deal of thought to this matter. In the end, they decided humanity's impact on Citadel space was significant enough to warrant an embassy.
Why were the
How
Volus
come
first?
the Volus were the first species given an embassy?
In the early years following the formation of the Council, the Volus were, apart from the Asari and Solarians, the most populous and widespread species in Citadel space. They established many new colonies and trading outposts, and they petitioned the Council for a greater role in determining interstellar policy. In recognition
So we keep
of
hearing
their
about
work
all
to
these different
expand
races, but we've yet to
interstellar
meet
trade and
any of those
establish
ones
a
yet.
standardized galactic economy, the Volus were granted an embassy here on the Citadel.
Why weren't they made a council race?
The Council races have extensive responsibilities. They must provide personnel and ships for the Citadel fleets. They often provide economic aid in times of disaster. It would be unfair to demand such an enormous burden of a species unable to meet these obligations.
Yeah,
the
that's
embassies
fair.
allow lesser species to have a voice on the Citadel.
Ooh, saying it like that though is a little weird.
That's pretty damn arrogant.
I apologize if my personality has offended you. Please submit all formal complaints in writing to the Citadel Tourist and Visitor Board.
Why were people trying to keep my...
The Council
What
gave
do
a
you
great
think? I
deal
wanna
of
hear
thought to this matter. In the end, they decided humanity's impact on Citadel space was significant enough to warrant an embassy.
Do you agree with their decision?
I am not programmed to make that kind of qualified judgment. My code is limited to information and simple interaction simulations.
Spectres.
Do you know anything about specters?
The term Spectre is derived from the branch of Special Tactics and Reconnaissance. Each Spectre agent is handpicked
Special
by the
tactics.
Council.
Okay.
Their primary role is
So-
preserving galactic stability and resolving
I hate those
volatile
kinds of acronyms,
situations
though, where
that
it's
cannot
like-
be handled through normal political channels.
So that one, they're taking
In
the
this
first
role,
four
they are
letters of
granted
special, just the
extraterritorial
first
rights and
letter of tactics, and then the two
Spectres
letters of
answer to no law
reconnaissance.
or
So
authority
it's like,
except the Council itself.
just
What can you tell
they
me
liked
about the
the
Citadel
word,
Council?
and they wanted to use the
Originally,
word.
the Council consisted of
Figured out how to make the
representatives
word
from the
work.
Asari and Solarians, the two dominant species in Citadel space. Roughly 1,304 galactic standard years ago, Turians were invited to join the Council in recognition of the role they played during the Krogan Rebellion. Since
Well, wasn't
then,
that also
the three council races have
except
worked
for when
together to
Spectres
ensure the
became a
peaceful
thing?
coexistence of the galactic community, while preserving individual autonomy for each species.
It can't be as simple as that. There must be problems somewhere in the system.
I am not programmed to make that kind of qualified judgment. My code is limited to information and simple interaction simulations.
Okay. I don't think
What can you tell me about the Citadel
Yeah.
Council?
Originally, the council consisted of
did do that.
Since then, the 3 council races.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, and thank you for using Avina. Please enjoy your visit to the Citadel.
So before we go there, oh, I did it again. Use rapid transit to quickly move between major locations. Obsidian locations. Okay. So I don't want to do that yet. Because I want to go talk to those other people. I don't love the screen, how the screen shake occurs when you do the running. It's just a little awkward to me. I'm going to loop around and talk to these other 2 Avina spots. So we go here and down the stairs, and then there's Avina right there. Whoa! All these designs are so cool. There's another Turian. Hey, Avina.
Welcome to Presidium Tourism Terminal 3. Here in the financial district, a number of businesses offer various goods and services to their exclusive clientele. The statue you see before you was commissioned to honor the Krogan soldiers who gave their lives to protect Citadel space during the Rachni Wars.
Okay.
In the aftermath of the Krogan rebellions, several embassies petitioned to have the statue removed. However, this motion was eventually quashed by the Council.
Krogan rebellions.
Tell me more about the Krogan rebellions.
In recognition of their efforts during the Rachni Wars, the Krogan were granted several new colony worlds by the Council. Over the next 400 years, the Krogan species began to expand. Blessed with an extremely high birth rate, their numbers began to swell. Faced with a critical overpopulation crisis, the Krogan started a violent colonization of nearby worlds inhabited by other Council species. The Krogan rebellions had begun. For a full century, the Council and its member species fought to bring the Krogan under control. With the aid of the newly discovered Turian Empire, they were ultimately successful.
You needed the Krogan to stop the Rachni, then you needed the Turians to stop the Krogan. So who's gonna stop the Turians?
I am sorry, but that question is beyond my programming parameters. The Turians are members of the Citadel Council. They are not a threat to galactic peace.
Why did the Council fight so hard to keep the statue?
The Krogan were instrumental in saving the galaxy from the Rachni threat. The Council believed this historical fact should not be forgotten. The Council also hoped that preserving the memorial would improve diplomatic relations with the Krogan and bring about a peaceful resolution to the rebellions. Unfortunately, the Krogan refused to negotiate and only surrendered after their population and homeworlds had been ravaged by the Turians.
Sounds like they got what they deserved.
I am sorry, but a value judgment of that nature goes beyond my programming.
And Rachni Wars.
What were the Rachni Wars?
Nearly 2,200 years ago, explorers seeking to expand Citadel space opened up mass relays leading to systems controlled by the Rachni.
It's fun seeing all the lore that they're like, yeah, before your planet's civilizations even like existed,
that
this stuff
lasted for
happened.
nearly 3 centuries. The emergence of the Krogan finally turned the tide in favor of the Citadel species. Krogan forces provided the numbers necessary to halt the Rachni advance and drive them back. The Krogan then pursued their retreating fleets. Able to survive the harsh environments of the Rachni homeworlds, the Krogan hunted their enemy to extinction.
To extinction?
Was it really necessary to wipe them out?
Yeah.
I am sorry, but a value judgment of that nature goes beyond my programming.
That's all for now.
Thank you for using Avina. Have a pleasant day.
Okay. Nice to level up from knowledge. Okay, shopkeepers.
Ah, human. This one is greatly pleased to see you here in my decadent emporium.
Who are you?
This one's face name is Delaninder, though many in this place simply refer to it as Delan. Please take time to examine the fine goods it has for purchase, all of great worth.
This guy's cool.
What exactly do you sell?
Only the finest and most luxurious items that credits can buy. This one is able to procure almost any item the human would desire, for a price, naturally.
Speech.
Why do you refer to yourself as this one and it?
For the same reason that humans are so inquisitive. It is part of our culture. Specifically, Hanar only refer to themselves in the first person with family or intimates. And we rarely do so with other species. It is just our way.
Who are you?
This one's Please take time to examine the fine goods it has for purchase, all of great worth.
Show me your items.
Oh, this one is pleased to do so, human. You will not be disappointed.
Okay. So you view standard items. Oh, wow. That's all expensive. But cool. Ooh, Certa Foundation license. We'll buy that.
Commander, it is good to see you again.
Show me your items.
Let's view non-human.
Oh, this one.
Okay, so got it.
Commander, it is good to see you again.
Show me your items.
Okay, and upgrades.
Oh, this one is...
Armor upgrades. Shield banner. Okay, cool. Got it. What is back here? The fact that it lets me go back here. What is it? Another one of these dudes. Okay, cool. Hey, can I actually talk to them?
Well, they've built themselves quite the lake. Wonder if anyone ever drowned in it.
Okay. Barlavon.
What's
Yo, this guy's cool
One of
too.
the Earth Clan. Ah, a very famous one, yes? You are the one called Shepard. The tale of how you survived the great tragedy on Akuz is truly remarkable. I am amazed each time I hear it.
Who are you?
You've got me at a disadvantage here.
Forgive me, Earth Clan. My name is Barlavon. My job makes it necessary for me to keep informed. I am a financial advisor to many important clients here on the Citadel.
Oh,
When
that's
someone
Bank, I
as
think.
important as yourself arrives on the station, I take notice.
Tell me more about your job.
Galactic finance is incredibly complex. A mix of laws and regulations from dozens of interstellar economies. I'm an expert in how all these economies interact. For a fee, I share my expertise. I also offer premium services for those clients who need someone to conduct business without drawing unwanted attention. Discreet and efficient. That's my motto.
Sounds pretty shady.
Everything I do falls completely within the bounds of interstellar commerce law. Even so, many of my clients would prefer their transactions remain undisclosed. For example, suppose a Hanar ambassador was petitioning the Council to reduce tariffs on Hanar goods. How would it look if he had money invested in a Hanar exporting company? Even if his true motives were to help his people, he would be accused of advancing the petition for his own personal gain. I can keep his personal finances private.
Still sounds shady to me.
Because that is still
only hope
shady.
He will never be cursed with a large enough fortune to require my services.
The ethical thing would be to divest.
What's it like living here on the Citadel?
The station is without a doubt the greatest wonder in the galaxy. It is a technological marvel, but its true splendor goes much deeper than the hull and engines. From the Presidium to the wards, the entire station is a testament to the success of the Council. All the species of Citadel space together in a single, strong community.
Let's talk about
What makes
Presidium.
the Presidium so special?
It is the political center of Citadel space. 80% of all intelligent species in the known galaxy acknowledge the Council's authority on interstellar matters. But only the most powerful and influential species have embassies here on the Presidium. This level of the station is reserved for the elite, Shepard. People like us.
The wards.
What are the wards like?
The cultural heart of the galaxy. They pulse with the lifeblood of millions of citizens from dozens of different species. You never know what you'll find out in the wards, Commander. It's always full of surprises. Fortunately, most of them are pleasant.
Alright.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
Okay. So that was the bank. So now I go this way to the next Avina, who is right over there. Or cool species. Dude, just straight chilling. Alright, there's a human chilling. And very stereotypical sci-fi politician-y
Look at that
garb.
thing over there. What's it doing?
Please do not disturb the keepers.
Okay, so they're called keepers.
Welcome to Presidium Tourism Terminal 2. You are standing near the base of the Citadel Tower, one of the Presidium's most recognizable and important structures.
So next chunk of information.
Behind me is the spectacular Relay Monument, a scale model representation of a Prothean mass relay.
Okay.
To your left is one of the keepers, the enigmatic caretakers of the Citadel, working on a control panel. You may see keepers involved in various tasks throughout all levels of the Citadel. We ask that you do not interfere with them in any way.
Got it.
The keepers are essential to the smooth operation of the Citadel. Obstructing their daily work will result in harsh penalties, including incarceration and rehabilitation.
What does rehabilitation mean there?
Tell me more about the Relay Monument.
Discovered by the Asari,
Okay, so those
who
were
first
the
arrived at the
relays.
Citadel,
That's
the
all they
Relay
are.
Monument is one of the station's most interesting and controversial features. What is the meaning behind this striking piece of art? Is it a tribute to Prothean vanity? A reminder of their conquest of the galaxy through mass relay technology? Or perhaps it is a symbol of unity, a Prothean acknowledgement that the relays would eventually lead other species here to the Citadel. No one can say for sure, making the Relay Monument a favorite topic of discussion among academics and scholars.
Citadel Tower.
Tell me about the Citadel Tower.
Housing both the council chambers and Citadel control, the tower is one of the most important buildings on the station. Access to these areas is restricted to those with the appropriate clearance.
Citadel
What happens in Citadel Control?
Citadel Control handles all incoming and outbound transit. Every ship within 2,000 kilometers of the Citadel is under the jurisdiction of Citadel Control. At peak capacity, they are responsible for monitoring upwards of 1,000 vessels.
Okay.
I'd like to hear more
Chambers.
about the council chambers.
The business of the Council, which often has far-reaching effects on the galactic community, is conducted in a room at the apex of the Citadel Tower. The Council chambers themselves are truly a magnificent sight to behold, though few get to experience the view in person. Typically, only the councilors, ambassadors, and high-ranking officials, along with various support staff, are allowed access.
Not open to the
What if someone
public.
has business with the council?
The average citizen must go through the proper channels if they wish an audience with the Council. This is usually arranged through their respective ambassadors. Even then, few are given access to the actual Council chambers. In most cases, the ambassador acts on behalf of the citizen.
I haven't asked
I'm scheduled to have an audience with the council.
Only a handful of visitors to the Citadel are ever granted that privilege. I would be jealous, but that is outside the scope of my programming.
Keepers.
I'd like to know more about the Keepers.
Little is known about these peaceful servants of the Citadel, though they are essential to the operation and maintenance of the entire station. Citadel regulations protect the Keepers against interference during the performance of their tasks. Failure to comply will result in harsh penalties. Keepers can be seen in all sections of the Citadel, but are typically found in and around the tower.
Any particular reason there are so many Keepers in this area?
The Keepers do not communicate with other species. It is assumed, however, that the tower houses the Citadel's primary control systems. Many of the station's systems, such as navigation and life support, function automatically. It is believed the Keepers operate those systems from inside the tower's inaccessible core. The Keepers also make frequent appearances in the Council chamber itself, though they appear to be just passing through on their way to some other destination.
Okay.
That's all for now.
That's a whole bunch more lore. To ward access.
A pleasant day.
I think I'm going to want to go up there next. But I leveled first, so I want to unlock the sniper. We got one more level, and then I can start doing the sniper rifle stuff. Let's keep moving combat up, and I got first aid now. So one there. Let's put one more into charm. Okay, so Paragon and Renegade are those two things. Let's keep upping his decryption and his electronics. Ashley, more pistols, more into soldier. Okay, journal. Assignments, unusual readings. Go to the Hydra system in the Argus cluster and investigate at some point. So we gotta go to the Citadel Tower. Okay, and what? Okay, a lot of codex entries. Alright, so Krogan rebellions. After the Arachne War, quick breeding Krogan expanded at the expense of the neighbors. Warlords leveraged their veteran soldiers to seize living space while the Council races were still grateful. Over centuries, the Krogan conquered world after world. There was always just one more needed. When the Council finally demanded withdrawal from the Asari colony of Lucia, Krogan overlord Kredek stormed off the Citadel, daring the Council to take their worlds back. But the Council had taken precautions. The finest STG operators and Asari huntresses had been drafted into a covert observation force, the Office of Special Tactics and Reconnaissance. The Spectres opened the war with crippling strategic strikes. Krogan planets went dark as computer viruses flooded the extranet. Sabotaged antimatter refineries disappeared in blue-white annihilation. Headquarters stations shattered into orbit-clogging debris, rammed by pre-placed suicide freighters. Still, this only delayed the inevitable. The war would have been lost if not for first contact with the Turians, who responded to Krogan threats with a prompt declaration of war. Being on the far side of Krogan space from the Council, the Turians advanced rapidly into the lightly defended Krogan rear areas. The Krogan responded by dropping space stations and asteroids on Turian colonies. 3 worlds were rendered completely uninhabitable. This was precisely the wrong approach to take with the Turians. Each is first and foremost a public servant, willing to risk his life to protect his comrades. Rather than increasing public war wariness, Krogan tactics stiffened Turian resolve. The arrival of Turian task forces saved many worlds from the warlords' marauding fleets, but it took development of the genophage bioweapon to end the war. There were decades of unrest afterwards. Rogue warlords and holdout groups of insurgents refused to surrender and disappeared into the frontier systems to become pirates. Yeah, I feel like that bioweapon, it sounds like it probably made it so the Krogans can't reproduce the way they had been able to, and they're probably on the verge or gradually heading towards extinction is what my assumption is. Ring is an enclosed loop of park-like space serving as the connection point for the wards. Interior walls are lined with the embassies of the influential species and private residences for the galaxy's elite. Presidium is full of open-air restaurants, bars, and luxurious meeting areas. Gravity is about 1/3 Earth normal. A holographic sky is projected over the ceiling of the ring. Unlike the 24/7 bustle of the wards, Presidium maintains a 20-hour day schedule with a 6-hour night where lights are dimmed and the sky goes through a night cycle. Offices and residences are often open to the interior, though it is not unusual for embassies to have no exterior wall at all. This does not cause a crime problem due to the heavy C-Sec presence and ubiquitous monitoring devices on the Presidium. Thieves are quickly identified and apprehended. The ring is the location of the Citadel spaceports. Being closer to the center of spin, there is less motion for a ship to match, and the reduced spin gravity makes handling cargo easier. Hundreds of ships pass through the Citadel every day, and every species with an embassy is granted a private dock. The tower at the center of the ring holds the administration of the Citadel Council. The tower rises over a kilometer from the ring, appearing to thrust forward parallel to the ward arms. As the tower is at the center of the spin axis, it experiences little centrifugal force. Gravity is maintained using mass effects fields at a 90-degree angle to the ring and wards. A consular deck can be found at the base of the tower. While normally used for diplomatic couriers and spectre business, the shuttles docked here can evacuate the council government in an emergency. Okay, we saw that already. So wards. The majority of Citadel's population live in the wards. The 5 massive arms of the station that house the residential and commercial districts. Many galactic races have established cultural enclaves here. Population density and cost of living are extremely high, akin to Earth cities such as Hong Kong and Singapore. The wards are open-topped with skyscrapers rising from the superstructure. Towers are sealed against vacuum as the breathable atmosphere envelope is only maintained to a height of about 7 meters. The atmosphere is contained by the centrifugal forces of rotation and a membrane of dense colorless sulfur hexafluoride gas held in place by carefully managed mass effect fields. The view from the wards is spectacular. In the background, stars, Serpent Nebula, and the nearby blue giant called the Widow move across the sky as the station rotates to stabilize itself. In the foreground, the lights of buildings and vehicles on the opposing ward arms perpetually shine. Citadel has no real day or night. While the station keeps to standard galactic time for political functions, businesses rarely close, and residents acclimate to sleep and work according to a personal need rather than a day-night cycle. Additions and modifications are constantly being constructed, though they must stay within certain specifications that will not compromise the operation of the station. Occasionally, the keepers will descend on an area of the wards and move or change the architecture without explanation. Residents have learned to live with these inexplicable intrusions. Yeah, we saw that one. Credits. Standard credit was established by Citadel's Unified Banking Act as the currency of interstellar trade. The credit has a managed floating exchange rate calculated in real time by the central bank to maintain the average value of all participating currencies. Some regional currencies are worth more than a credit and some less. Hard currency can be stolen or counterfeited, so electronic fund transfers are the norm. More importantly, physical transactions cannot be easily tracked, making them ideal for tax evasion or the purchase of illegal goods. When the Alliance joined the Citadel, its various national treasuries were linked to the credit network. A human with a bank account of Mexican pesos, Japanese yen, or Indian rupees can purchase any item priced in credits at fair market value. All economies that participate in the credit network are required to price items in both local currency and credits.
Roughly 1,200 years ago, the Turians were invited to join the Citadel Council to fulfill the role of galactic peacekeepers.
Okay, we did read that one already.
50,000 years
saw that one, but
though now
Rachni
extinct, the Rachni once threatened every species in Citadel space.
Okay.
Over 2,000 years ago, explorers foolishly opened a mass relay to a previously unknown system and encountered something never seen before or since, a species of spacefaring insects guided by a hive mind intelligence. Unfortunately, the Rachni were not peaceful, and the galaxy was plunged into a series of conflicts known as the Rachni Wars. Attempts to negotiate were futile, as it was impossible to make contact with the Hive Queens that guided the race from beneath the surface of their toxic home world. The emergence of the Krogan ended the Rachni Wars. Bred to survive the harshest environments, the Krogan were able to strike at the Queens in their lairs and reclaim conquered Council worlds. But when Krogan fleets pressed them back to their homeworld, the Rachni refused to surrender, and the Krogan eradicated them from the galaxy.
Okay, from the galaxy, though, to me that means they're not necessarily extinct. They could still appear somewhere else. At least that's how I'm interpreting that.
The Geth are a humanoid race.
Saw the Geth, so
the Hanar are a Citadel species known for excessive politeness. They speak with scrupulous precision and take offense at improper language. Hanar that expect to deal with other species take special courses to help them unlearn their tendency to take offense at improper speech. All Hanar have two names. The face name is known to the world. The soul name is kept for use among close friends and relations. Hanar never refer to themselves in the first person in conversation with someone they know on a face name basis. To do so is considered egotistical. So instead they refer to themselves as this one, or the impersonal it. Their homeworld, Kajay, has 90% ocean cover and orbits an energetic white star, resulting in a permanent blanket of cloud. Due to the presence of Prothean ruins on the world, many Hanar worship them, and Hanar myths often speak of an elder race that civilized them by teaching them language. When the Asari discovered the Citadel, they also discovered the Keepers, a docile, multi-limbed insect race that seemingly exists only to maintain and repair the great Prothean
So they're just
station.
here and that's it.
Early attempts to communicate with or study the Keepers were failures, and it is now illegal to interfere with or
So they're just
impede
doing their
Keeper
thing and
activity.
you're just kind of trusting
Because they are completely non-threatening, Keepers have become virtually invisible to everyone else. Similarly, they seem indifferent to other species, except for their tendency to help new arrivals integrate themselves into the Citadel. No matter how many Keepers die due to old age, violence, or accident, they maintain a constant number. No one has discovered the source of new Keepers, but some hypothesize they are genetic constructs. Biological
I hope that gets
androids
revealed
created
at some
somewhere
point, that we
deep
end
in
up
the
going to the
inaccessible
core of the Citadel.
of the Citadel itself.
Volus.
The Volus are a member species of the Citadel with their own embassy, but they are also a client race of the Turians. Centuries ago, they were voluntarily absorbed into the hierarchy, effectively trading their mercantile prowess for Turian military protection. Erun, their homeworld, lies far beyond the normal life zone of its star. However, the world has a high-pressure greenhouse atmosphere that traps enough heat to support an ammonia-based biochemistry.
That's why they have the mask.
As a result, the Volus must wear pressure suits and breathers when dealing with other species, as conventional nitrogen-oxygen air mixtures are poisonous to them, and in the low-pressure atmospheres tolerable to most species, their flesh will actually split open. Volus culture is tribal, bartering lands and even people to gain status. This culture of exchange inclines them to economic pursuits. It was the Volus who authored the Unified Banking Act, and they continue to monitor and balance the Citadel economy. The Citadel is an ancient deep space station, presumably constructed by the Protheans. Since the Prothean extinction, numerous species have come to call the Citadel home. It serves as the political, cultural, and financial capital of the galactic
I'll just let this one read, because I don't remember if
to
this one
represent
was
their
read
interests,
before.
most species maintain embassies on the Presidium, the Citadel's inner ring. The Citadel Tower in the center of the Presidium holds the Citadel Council chambers. Council affairs often have far-reaching effects on the rest of the galactic community. 5 arms, known as the Wards, extend from the Presidium. Their inner surfaces have been built into cities, populated by millions of inhabitants from across the galaxy. The Citadel is virtually
so much
indestructible.
information about
If attacked,
the
the station
world.
can close its arms
I feel
to
like
form
it's
a
done
solid,
such a great job of
impregnable
like,
shell.
catching me up on
For
all
as
the
long
events
as the station
up to
has
this point
existed,
in the game. To
an
be like,
enigmatic race
this is
called the
everything that's
Keepers
happened, and
has
here's the
maintained it.
relationships between all these species that have been around for a very long time.
The Council is an executive committee composed of representatives from the Asari Republics, the Turian Hierarchy, and the Solarian Union. Though they have no official power over the independent governments of other species, the Council's decisions carry great weight throughout the galaxy. No single Council race is strong enough to defy the other two, and all have a vested interest in compromise and cooperation. Each of the Council species has general characteristics associated with the various aspects of governing the galaxy. The Asari are typically seen as diplomats and mediators. The Solarians gather intelligence and information. The
I feel
Turians
like
provide the
some
bulk of
of
the
the
military
lighting
and
too is probably
peacekeeping
also
forces.
adding to it for the
Any
my
species
face probably getting a
granted
bit of a
an embassy
red
on the
tint.
Citadel is considered an associate member, bound by the accords of the Citadel
Because it's
Conventions.
definitely got more of a yellowish orange
Associate members may bring
glow
issues
from the
to the
light.
attention of the Council, though they have no input on the decision. The Human Systems Alliance became an associate member of the Citadel in 2165.
What else? Technology.
Biotics is the
I already heard
ability
that,
of
so just
a virtual
VI
intelligence
and
is an
mass
advanced
relays.
form of user interface software. VIs use a variety of methods to simulate natural conversation, including an audio interface and an avatar personality to interact with. Although a VI
I wonder if they
can
all
provide a
have VI
convincing
in their names,
emulation of
since the first one
sentience,
that we've
they
met
are
so
not
far is
self-aware.
Avina.
Nor can
So
they
I'm
learn
very
or take
curious if
independent
the
action.
rest are going to have names similar.
VIs are used as operating systems on commercial and home computers. Minimal VI agents are also available. Agents are compact and specialized. Some serve as personal secretaries, filtering calls and scheduling meetings based on user-defined priorities. Others are advanced search engines, propagating themselves across the extranet to collate user-requested data. Commercial VIs in a variety of stock personalities are available at any software retailer. Boutique firms and hobbyists also build unique VIs to
Starting to
personal
hear
specification.
fireworks get set off by
Although
people
software
nearby.
emulation of living personalities is illegal, reconstructions of famous historical figures are common.
Alright, mass relays.
Mass relays are feats of Prothean engineering advanced far beyond the technology of any living species. They are enormous structures scattered throughout the stars and can create corridors of virtually mass-free space, allowing instantaneous transit between locations separated by years or even centuries of travel using conventional FTL drives. Primary mass relays can propel ships thousands of light years, often from one spiral arm of the galaxy to another. However, they have fixed one-to-one connections. A primary relay connects to one other primary relay and nowhere else.
Okay.
Secondary relays can only propel ships across a few hundred light years.
See, even that,
However,
like,
they
the
are
fact that they're taking the
omnidirectional.
time to explain
A secondary relay
to the
can
player,
send a ship
like,
to any other relay
they
within
don't
its
have
limited
to
range.
mention that. The
There
player
are
can just
many
look at the
dormant
maps and pick
primary
stuff and
relays
probably wouldn't
whose
even bat an eye
corresponding
thinking
twins
about
have
that
not
detail.
yet been located. These are
It's a
left
level of
inactive
attention to
until
detail
their
for the world
partner is
building that
charted.
I'm really
As established
appreciating.
civilizations are unwilling to blindly open a passage that might connect them to a hostile species.
Alright. So let's head up into the Citadel Tower. I think we'll do this scene and then probably wrap stuff up after that.
The council isn't going to ask me any questions, are they?
I doubt it. We've made our reports. Now we just have to trust Ambassador Udina.
No, we don't, sir.
Yeah, I don't think I trust Ambassador Udina myself. God, it's gonna be so funny if Saren is right here.
Saren's hiding something. Give me more time. Stall them.
Stall the council? Don't be ridiculous. Your investigation is over, Garrus.
Commander Shepard, Garrus Vakarian. I was the officer in charge of the CSEC investigation into Saren.
Who were you just talking to?
That was Executor Palin, head of Citadel Security, my boss. He'll be presenting my findings on Saren to the Council.
Come across anything I should know about?
Saren's a Spectre. Most of his activities are classified. I couldn't find anything solid. But I know he's up to something. Like you humans say, I feel it in my gut.
I think the Council's ready for us, Commander.
Good luck, Shepard. Maybe they'll listen to you. You don't want to keep the Council waiting.
Okay, another one. So many cool designs. Garrus. I guess we'll find out if he gets to join the squad later. That's more than I know about him. Alright, Mr. Cool Guy. Let's see. Okay, Council Chamber. Still just slowly make our way there. Take my time to just glance at everything around. Good as... Excuse me.
No,
Rear Admiral Kahaku.
One of the counselors. Commander. Commander.
Okay, nothing else there. Thank you. Another keeper doing his job. Love the purple outfit right there. That's really cool. Alright.
No, I just want to ask you.
Take my time to check both sides before I walk up to see the council. Okay, rapid transit again. Anything over here? Nope. Okay. Alright. Captain Anderson.
The hearing's already started. Come on.
Alright.
The Geth attack is a matter of some concern, but there is nothing to indicate Saren was involved in any way.
The investigation by Citadel Security turned up no evidence to support your charge of treason.
An eyewitness saw him kill Nihilus in cold blood.
We've read the Eden Prime reports, Ambassador. The testimony of one traumatized dock worker is hardly compelling proof.
I resent these accusations. Nihilus was a fellow Spectre and a friend.
That just let you catch him off guard.
Captain Anderson, you always seem to be involved when humanity makes false charges against me.
I mean, I'd be concerned if there's multiple false charges against you. That would make me think that they're not false.
Get destroyed.
How did you get
The mission
involved?
to Eden Prime was top secret. The only way you could know about the beacon was if you were there.
With Nihilus gone, his files passed on to me. I read the Eden Prime report. I was unimpressed. But what can you expect from a human?
You'll pay. You know what? I don't care if we're in front of this council.
You can expect me to kill you the next time we meet.
We're gonna just
Your
say it.
species needs to learn its place, Shepard. You're not ready to join the council. You're not even ready to join the Spectres.
He has no right to say that. That's not his decision.
Shepard's admission into the Spectres is not the purpose of this meeting.
This meeting has no purpose. The humans are wasting your time, Counselor, and mine.
Quit protecting him.
Saren's hiding behind his position as a Spectre. You need to open your eyes.
What we need is evidence. So far, we've seen nothing.
There is still one outstanding issue. Commander Shepard's vision. It may have been triggered by the beacon.
Are we allowing dreams into evidence now? How can I defend my innocence against this kind of testimony?
I agree. Our judgment must be based on facts and evidence, not wild imaginings and reckless speculation.
Do you have anything else to add, Commander Shepard?
You know what? We're gonna be petty with this. What's
You've
the point?
made your decision. I won't waste my breath.
The Council has found no evidence of any connection between Saren and the Geth. Ambassador, your petition to have him disbarred from the Spectres is denied.
I'm glad to see justice was served.
This meeting is adjourned.
It was a mistake bringing you into that hearing, Captain. You and Saren have too much history. It made the Council question our motives.
I know Saren. He's working with the Geth for one reason: to exterminate the entire human race. Every colony we have is at risk. Every world we control is in danger. Even Earth isn't safe.
How do you know Saren? Let's ask that first.
I worked with him on a mission a long time ago. Things went bad. Real bad. We shouldn't talk about this here. But I know what he's like. And he has to be stopped.
Council won't help us.
We need to deal with Saren ourselves.
As a Spectre, he's virtually untouchable. We need to find some way to expose him.
What about Garrus, that CSEC investigator? We saw him arguing with the Executor.
That's right. He was asking for more time to finish his report. Seems like he was close to finding something on Saren.
I'll talk
Any
to him.
idea where we could find him?
I have a contact in CSEC who can help us track Garrus down. His name is Harkin.
Forget it. They suspended Harkin last month, drinking on the job. I won't waste my time with that loser.
You won't have to. I don't want the Council using your past history with Saren as an excuse to ignore anything we turn up. Shepard will handle this.
I'm on.
I'll take care of it.
I need to take care of some business. Captain, meet me in my office later.
Harkin's probably getting drunk at Cora's Den. It's a dingy little club in the lower section of the wards.
Maybe there's another way to find evidence against Saren.
You should talk to Barla Vaughn over in the financial district. Rumor has it he's an agent for the Shadow Broker.
Okay, we've already met Barla Vaughn.
An information dealer. Buys and sells secrets to the highest bidder. I've heard Barla Vaughn's one of the top representatives. He might know something about Saren, but his information won't come cheap.
Okay, we got a lot of questions we could ask. Council and Ambassador.
Our ambassador doesn't seem to get along with the Council.
He's just frustrated.
This one came out in 2007, I
believe. Community. But for them, it's a one-way street. They want us to expand and settle unstable regions like the Skillian Verge and the Attican Traverse. But when we run into trouble, they don't want to help us out. Everyone knows it's only a matter of time until we get a seat on the Council. The ambassador just thinks it should happen sooner rather than later. And I agree.
Maybe they'd let us join the Council if we were more willing to cooperate with the other species.
Yeah.
Of course they would. If we did everything they told us to, they'd love to have us on the Council. But it wouldn't be much of a deal for us.
It's about cooperation.
I understand their side. They don't want us dominating the Council. It's founded on cooperation and alliances. But we have to look out for our own interests too.
Yeah, you can do both. You don't have to cut everyone off. See today.
You don't think much of Harkin.
The guy joined CSEC about 20 years ago. He's been an embarrassment to our species ever since. Roughing up suspects in custody, bribery accusations, alcohol and drug use. The embassy used to step in when he got in trouble. But I guess enough was enough.
Why protect him?
He's a scumbag. He should have been cut loose a long time ago.
He was one of the first human CSEC officers. Guess it would have looked bad if he got fired. A lot of backroom deals were worked out over the years to keep him on the force. Politics is a dirty business sometimes.
Sometimes.
But it looks like his time's run out. We've got enough humans in CSEC now to stop protecting him.
They abandoned him.
This embassy was supposed to help humans.
Harkin may be human, but he's also an ass. He's had more than his share of chances. If the embassy wasn't protecting him, he would have been fired 15 years ago. CSEC is better off without him.
Alright, Spectres.
I want to know more about the Spectres.
They're not your typical government agency. They tend to work alone, behind the scenes. They take care of problems the Council can't. It's not easy preserving peace across an entire galaxy. The Council prefers to use diplomacy and negotiation. But sometimes more extreme measures are needed.
How are they chosen?
How do they decide who becomes a Spectre?
You can't just apply to join. There's no training program. Spectres aren't made. They're born. The Council's always looking for exceptional individuals. People who can get the job done. Like you. They've been watching you for years. They see something in you. They want you on their side. Nihilus was supposed to give them a final recommendation. But with him gone, things are still up in the air.
What's their command structure like?
There is no command structure. Each Spectre answers directly to the Council. Sometimes they're sent on specific missions.
Okay.
Other times, they act on their own.
So basically say,
They
look,
tend to
you're
operate
really good at
outside the
doing
law,
things,
do whatever it
so
takes
we
to
want you to
accomplish
just
their
keep
goals.
doing those things.
The Council just turns a blind eye. Spectres have a lot of power, Shepard.
They sound like shadow operatives.
Everything about them is classified. We don't even know how many there are. The latest Alliance estimate puts their numbers under 100. But the Council couldn't do its job without them. They're the Citadel's top agents, the last line of defense, the final option before open war. The entire galaxy respects and fears them. If a Spectre shows up, you know something big is about to happen.
What happens when a Spectre goes rogue, like Saren?
Never happened before?
It doesn't happen often.
Oh.
The Council
But
is
it has
careful when
happened.
they select their candidates. But when something does go wrong, there's usually only one solution. Send another Spectre to bring the rogue agent down.
Shadow Broker.
Tell me more about the Shadow Broker.
He's a necessary evil of galactic politics. Buying and selling information is a part of the game. And the Shadow Broker just happens to be the best player on the field. Always sells to the highest bidder. Doesn't get involved in politics. Doesn't pick sides. A simple system, but it works. He's not a threat to anyone, not directly. He's just a resource we can use, or she is. Or maybe they are. Nobody really knows.
Barlavan.
Tell me about Barlavan.
He specializes in moving large sums of money without leaving a paper trail. A financial genius. Doesn't do anything illegal, but he knows all the loopholes.
Yep. So that's
He's got
exactly
an
what he told us
impressive
before.
client list. Ambassadors, diplomats, Spectres. That's probably why the Shadow Broker uses him.
What about you and
You
Saren?
and Saren have a history. What happened?
About 20 years ago, I was part of a mission in the Skillian Verge. I was working with Saren to find and remove a known terrorist threat. Saren eliminated his target, but a lot of people died along the way, innocent people. And the official records just covered it all up. But I saw how he operates. No conscience, no hesitation. He'd kill 1,000 innocent civilians to end a war without a second thought.
He's a monster.
Killing innocents doesn't end wars. It causes them.
I know how the world works, Commander. Sometimes you're forced to make unpleasant decisions, but only if there's no other way. Saren doesn't even look for another option. He's twisted, broken. He likes the violence, the killing. And he knows how to cover his tracks.
All right.
I should go.
Good luck, Shepard. I'll be over in the ambassador's office if you need anything else.
Okay. So that was a lot of stuff. So we got a lot of things to do. We have to find proof about Saren. We need to get Garrus, and we can also pursue the Shadow Broker. But we'll do Garrus. Got a lot more Codex stuff. None in primary.
The Asari
Okay, we
were
do.
the first species to discover the Citadel. When the Solarians arrived, it was the Asari who proposed the establishment of the Citadel Council
now we know
to
what these
maintain
races look
peace
like.
throughout the galaxy. Since then, the Asari have served as the mediators and centrists of the Council. An all-female race, the Asari reproduce through a form of parthenogenesis. They can attune their nervous system to that of another individual of any gender and of any species to reproduce. This capability has led to the unseemly and inaccurate rumors about Asari promiscuity. Asari can live for over 1,000 years, passing through 3 stages of life. In the maiden stage, they wander restlessly, seeking new knowledge and experience. When the matron stage begins, they meld with interesting partners to produce their offspring. This ends when they reach the matriarch stage, where they assume the roles of leaders and counselors. The second species to join the Citadel, the Solarians, are warm-blooded amphibians with a hyperactive metabolism. Salarians think fast, talk fast, and move fast. To Salarians, other species seem sluggish and dull-witted. Unfortunately, their metabolic speed leaves them with a relatively short lifespan. Salarians over the age of 40 are a rarity. The Salarians were responsible for advancing the development of the primitive Krogan species to use as soldiers during the Rachni Wars. They were also behind the creation of the genophage bioweapon the Turians used to quell the Krogan rebellions several centuries later.
Okay.
Salarians are known for their observational capability and non-linear thinking.
Yeah,
This
it
manifests
seems
as an
very
aptitude for research
science-oriented.
and espionage. They are constantly experimenting and inventing, and it is generally accepted that they always know more than they are letting on. The Geth are
Nothing else.
fifth after the
Okay. So we gotta head to Presidium. So let me take a look at that HUD again. Okay, so the top right corner is probably where I want to move the camera going forward. So I'll make sure to do that for the next stream. I think we'll save here. I think that's a good stopping point. We basically got through the initial events that started things off. And we know what we've got to do next. So let's just jump over. All right. So that was a ton of fun already. I'm really, really liking this game. The amount of like lore that they just like have thrown at you so quickly. To be fair, a lot of it is optional to take time to read in the codex. But the amount of information they give you to like basically spin you up on 2,000 plus years of alien history, to know what's going on, know generally the relationships and political activities and everything, understand where humans fall into that, and giving you the timeline of the humans' scientific advancements to get to this point. It was really nice to kind of get spun up. There's still a lot of things to figure out. I'm assuming Shepard is going to get the biotech stuff soon. We'll start to have those abilities. We've only really done one mission so far, which was just that opening mission to set up these events. Obviously, our objective now is to prove that Saren can't be trusted. So we'll probably next week we'll pick up first with finding Harkin, I think was his name, to be able to get to Garrus. Hopefully we have to recruit him or do something to assist him. We can also pursue the brokers. We have that mission that we found that eventually we'll want to travel to that one place to investigate that message that we were able to find on that terminal. But really cool. Combat is good. I mean, it's typical shooter, like at least so far what we've done. I like that squad mechanic. I know I'm gonna take a while to get used to that. I feel like I'm gonna not be as efficient with it as I should be, and hopefully that doesn't lead to anyone dying or getting severely injured. We'll see what happens, but really, really cool so far. All the designs are fantastic. The fact that it's an established civilization and like the Citadel and the like structure there, so it's just tons of alien races just right off the bat that are fully fleshed out, and like you're able to learn the history of them and everything. So it's been really cool so far, while also introducing you to a very significant threat right off the bat that's like gives you a sense of urgency of like you need to figure this out, and you need to get like you're a military operative, but you're having to really address the political aspect of it too as you're navigating through all this stuff. Like it's not the same as Halo. It's like sci-fi shooter of like, hey, here's the Covenant, here's the Flood, aliens coming to kill you, kill them. This is like, hey, there is a threat to everybody that everyone needs to be concerned about, but also you know that they are working with someone who is very high up in this government, and you need to convince this government that they're find the evidence that they cannot be trusted, which adds a really cool dynamic to it all. So really, really curious to see where all this is going to go. I think this is going to be a ton of fun, and I'm going to be playing through it and being like, I can't believe I sat on this game for 18 years before I finally played it. So I'm really excited to keep playing it. But I think that's just a good stopping point for this week. So I'm tired, and it's been about 3 hours anyways, so I think that's a good amount of progress to start for at least getting through the tutorial and getting a feel for the game and really getting that initial story and lore dump. So yeah, we'll wrap up here. I'll be back tomorrow night with some Stardew. It'll probably be a little bit shorter, maybe like 2-ish hours. Just doing some more there. We'll probably do some fishing, some other just relaxing, chill stuff. But we will be back next Friday with more Mass Effect. And thank you for the bits there. Good music to wrap up the stream. So yeah, we'll call it there. Hope everyone had fun watching. I appreciate everyone who tuned in. I had a ton of fun with this game. Like I'm really excited to play more of it. Like if I was playing this on my own, like I know that I would probably like tear through this game very quickly already just from that. Yeah, it would be great. I feel like using that in full would probably be a copyright thing, so probably not going to do that. But eventually get something. All right. So yeah, so let's wrap up there. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow with Stardew. Do more of this next Friday.